Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Connor Knowles, and this is the Nerdic Gods Podcast, episode 148. Joining me as always, Daniel Navaroli.
What's up, gamers? They got Yuji Naka again. He got arrested again for more insider trading. Like, now arrest him for Sonic, and then Balan Wonderworld. Let's get this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get him.
I agree.
90 years plus life for Sonic.
Yeah, 90 to life.
Yeah. Also joining us, as always, Steven Sims.
He's locked up, won't let him out.
But who cares about those two? Because also joining us from the Backlog Banter YouTube channel, Tucker Hazel.
That's me. Hello.
Oh,
Welcome back to me.
Sorry, Tucker. That was the artist known as Akon. When you were a baby, big deal. Very
Akon
popular.
Sure,
Didn't he donate a load of money to his home country or something?
Yeah, Akon's done a lot of doation stuff.
Yeah,
Was Akon the one that put the Band-Aid on his face?
No, that was Nelly. He was feeling hot. It was so hot he had to take off all his clothes. That one.
No, it was style. It was style.
Yeah,
Okay.
And also joining us from Just for Fun Reviews, Nick, aka Roy. How you doing, Nick? Or Roy? Nick, what is it? Is it Roy or
from
Nick?
The car from the real world.
It's Nick. I go by Roy on the games and shit, because nobody could figure out how to say my name, so it's like, fuck it, we'll just call him Roy.
Well, how do you say it?
It's Roy Yank.
Roy Yank.
Yeah, that's
so hard about
That's
that.
not that hard.
Yeah, people
That's
are
actually
saying
exactly how it's spelled.
Yeah.
Well, apparently Greg Miller butchered the shit out of it when they were doing PS I Love photo mode. So I was like, let me just make this short for him. So I'm like, yeah.
That's because that man can't read.
No, he can't.
He's gonna watch this now. I'd be all offended.
Good. Send it to him.
Guys, this is more people than we've ever had on the show at one
Holy
time.
shit.
It's a lot to manage at one point. My anxiety is through the roof right now. How are y'all doing?
I was on a podcast last year for end of the year stuff, and it was 25 people.
Yeah.
That was insane. Don't
No,
ever
that's
do that.
chaos.
Terrible
That
fucking
sounds like
idea.
too much. Yeah.
Was
How would anyone get a word in?
You don't.
We had a host that was actually surprisingly competent at handling that many people. I might be exaggerating a little bit of how many people there were, but we have a problem managing even 4 guys on one podcast. So
For sure. Sometimes it's just me and Daniel. I have trouble managing that. So it's it's
that's specifically tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hard to manage. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't hold me down.
Yeah, it's been rough, man. I've known you for a few years now. Guys, it's been another busy week in the world of video games.
Yes,
Starting with, Microsoft has entered into a 10-year commitment to put Call of Duty on Nintendo consoles when the Activision Blizzard deal eventually goes through, hopefully. They also said that they will continue to bring Call of Duty to Steam, which there's no year-long commitment on that one yet, but they will continue to bring it to Steam when this deal eventually goes through. Guys, big news.
This is just commitment.
Sims has a question. Go ahead. What's your question?
I know. I've been practicing this bit. I've been running this moment. You saying that, and then I come in and go, check, mate. Right?
I mean,
Elaborate. What do you mean by that?
As in, Xbox's way of getting around of getting PlayStation. PlayStation's it was Jim Ryan's going around flying the country. He's like, look, this isn't good for anybody. Blah blah blah. And then Xbox is like, well, we've just offered Nintendo 10 years. I don't know what any of you guys are moaning about at this point. Jump on. We ain't no monopoly. We're not trying to limit it. There's Nintendo. So then when I think Jim Ryan's at the FCC tonight, and he's like, oh, listen, man, Xbox taking all our fun away. It's not fair. And they're like, yeah, he's right, Jim Ryan. And he's crying, and that's why he's crying, Jim Ryan, right? Hey, that's why he's crying, Jim Ryan. So Xbox, this is one of those weird Xbox 9 o'clock in the night stories of oh, this is weird. There you go, Joe, crying Jim Ryan. So I mean, when I heard it and read it last night, and when I woke up this morning, whenever it happened, it's like you've got everybody by the bollocks, right? Are we listening to me or playing emojis, man?
I'm listening.
But no, yeah, hopefully what I'm saying makes sense of they've done this, and now Sony don't have nothing whatever verbal diarrhea is coming out their mouth going, oh, it's not fair, this, that, and the other. Nintendo, they've just given it Nintendo. So FCC are like, I don't know what they're doing this. Just go and have a conversation. Go and talk about it. It's like my kids coming up to me. It's like Roxanne. She just runs in. Hope's just done this. Hope's just done this. I'm like, why don't you go and just sit down with her and just talk about it and just sort it out together? And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. Actually, maybe we should talk instead of screaming at each other. Like relationships. Talk.
Wow.
Communication
really
is key.
metaphorical.
Communication, man. It's all about the communication. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. I'm going back to my tea.
Well, I think this is we have not talked about this deal too much because it's honestly mostly annoying to keep hearing the same things over and over again. I mean, I don't know if this necessarily means a ton. They are definitely sitting down with the FTC. I think yesterday or today, Microsoft is. So we'll see where that actually goes from here. This Nintendo thing really doesn't mean much, especially because they don't even own them yet. This is just a commitment for when it actually goes through. They plan on going everywhere, and they keep saying that. That's been the issue, is that they keep saying that they want to get Call of Duty not only to Xbox but to more people, whatever way that is. They already do things like Call of Duty Mobile, which is just to put Call of Duty on mobile. Warzone's coming to mobile now. I mean, why not make a Switch version if they can? Even if it's not going to be a great version, they'll just make some money off of it. This whole thing is just honestly bothersome to me. I'm kind of just sick of hearing the whole story. Really, like, PlayStation's been the only one that really has anything negative to say about the deal, which, I mean, that's, I guess, an entire other conversation about
but
should it happen or anything. But
Xbox are buying the main toy, aren't they? They're let's face it, like this conversation isn't Activision Blizzard. This conversation is Call of Duty at the end of the day. Like so they're taking that, you know, going back to the kids. Roxy and Hope, they're playing with the good toy, and Roxy takes the good toy away. Hope's gonna come up to me and be like, "Listen, Dad, she's got the good toy." And I'm like, why don't you like talk to her, like sort it out? And it all goes back to the FCC. Like, honestly, Jim Ryan and Phil Spencer, children at this point, sort shit out.
Well, it seems like they also want they care more about the mobile side, Call of Duty Mobile and in King and Candy Crush, not Call of Duty as much, you know.
Xbox.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that this deal doesn't mean a lot now, but I think the thing is that it has potential to mean a lot. It can't mean a lot right now because they don't own the company that they're like trying to make a deal about. But the reality is that Nintendo has been working for a good amount of this generation, at least compared to past generations, to build up partnerships with third-party companies and get other more mature and larger third-party series on their system, and it's worked for them. It's not been phenomenal, but it's been fine. But this is a commitment that I think we don't really see from many other companies with Nintendo. I mean, in fact, we got basically the opposite with the Wii U, where like the big companies like Activision and EA are like, no, we're not doing any Wii U games. But even with, there's a couple Bethesda games on Switch. There's a couple older Assassin's Creed games, but we're not getting many new big third-party games on Switch because, of course, it's a lower SKU of hardware. But I think that what's interesting about this to me is that I can foresee this being something really unique in that we might even see different kinds of Call of Duty games that are geared towards the Switch's hardware or Nintendo's ecosystem. And the fact that could create, new Call of Duty fans, new kinds of Call of Duty games is very interesting. And also for Nintendo, it gives them the chance for one of the first times in their history to have something like big third party successful on their platform, at least in the modern era. I mean, of course, you've got, Fortnite and Minecraft and Rocket League on Switch, but in terms of shooters, I guess Overwatch is on Switch, but who the fuck plays it there? COD is a different kind of thing.
We keep going, Tiger.
No, I'm done. That was it.
Oh, okay. Nick, what do you got to say about that?
I mean, you're getting Call of Duty on Switch, so now you got little motherfuckers on this damn thing now. So I don't know if this is going to, like, per se, put Warzone on there, because we know how Apex Legends ran on the Switch. It wasn't that great, but hey, you got it on the Switch now because I guess you want it portable. But I mean, if they go this route, wouldn't you think there would be another Switch down the line that's a little bit more powerful to run something like Call of Duty Warzone, so you can actually kind of compete with, fucking PlayStation and Xbox? Well, really, Nintendo and Xbox aren't competing with each other. They're trying to work together and be like, hey, let's go after Sony. But I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, play with everyone.
It's surprising. It really is surprising that they can talk about this deal. Like it's surprising they can say
Yeah,
anything.
It's very
Like
weird.
this seems to be very like, because it's still under contract. I'm sure it's still under some contract negotiation, NDA, whatever you want to call it. Of like, can't really talk about much. Like surely it's like it's still under like all the dots are being dotted, all the T's are being crossed, etc., etc. For them to come out and say, well, when we get it. Like, surely they're not allowed to say when we get it. It's or even if you get it. Like, it's a very big like hyper.
He chose his words pretty carefully here.
But it's very, you know what I mean? It's almost like I don't know. Like, there's certain things there's certain things you can't talk about contractually. Like, there's loads of NDAs. Like, I was talking to a toy manufacturer, like a toy shop the other day, and it was like, oh yeah, we get to see all the Lego stuff years before, and it's like we're not allowed to talk about it. Like, I know that's like an NDA for a game or a review, etc. But for them to go on Twitter and say, oh, well, hypothetically, when we buy it, and hypothetically, when we get it, hypothetically, Nintendo are getting Call of Duty for 10 years. Hypothetically. What do the kids use?
Yeah, I'll read it.
Is it allegedly? They say allegedly a lot.
I'll read the whole thing. I'll read it.
No, I don't
big
think
pig
there are
phrase.
any of those sort of half-assed words in there. I'm pretty sure it's like, we want to make this deal.
Let me read it real quick. Microsoft has entered into a 10-year commitment. They're already saying they've entered. So this deal, I don't know. This deal might be.
There's no allegedly here.
Yeah, this deal might be quicker and maybe done, depending on this FTC stuff. Microsoft has entered a commitment, that's I guess where the wording into a commitment to bring Call of Duty to Nintendo following the merger of Microsoft and Activision Blizzard King. Microsoft is committed to helping bring more games to more people, however they choose to play. He also says, I'm pleased to confirm that Microsoft has committed to continuing to offer Call of Duty on Steam simultaneously to Xbox. After we have closed the merger with Activision Blizzard King. So he is using words like we have entered and commitment and following the merger. But like, I mean, Phil has always been very careful with his words. But this is not very like hypothetically or allegedly. Like he's very clear at what he's saying.
Is this something that before the dot maybe these deals have to be, or commitments, maybe it's something to put in the final contract, like it all gets written, or Xbox now is sole owner of EA, Activision Blizzard, etc. Not EA, Activision Blizzard, etc. They will own all the IPs, blah blah blah. Then in the next paragraph is like Nintendo will be has this deal with for Call of Duty, and then hopefully next year January we're talking PlayStation has a very similar deal. All Call of Duties will come, all Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoots, all the shit will come to on a 10-year deal. Like very select. Maybe they have to sit down like adults, like no pissing about when it comes to children. Like Jim's people, Phil's people will say, look, I know you're not happy about it. This is going to happen, all right? And obviously, we're sick of these roadblocks. Let's just stop being children at this point. Look, you can have Call of Duty 10 years. You have Call of Duty. We'll put it on Games Pass, but you can sell it, and then obviously you can have 20% of the profits or whatever. But we'll keep the rest. And then well, what about the other IPs? Well, why don't you have a Crash Bandicoot? Because there is a long lineage of Crash Bandicoots on PlayStation. Here's I don't know, whatever they have.
I don't think they're going to do any of that, to be honest.
Yeah, but they don't.
I don't want to interrupt you.
But like, I get that.
I think the only like thing that they're going to bend to is just Call of Duty.
Maybe.
Like I think it seems like with all this fighting, exactly. Like it seems with this fighting, they kind of want to just get it over with. But like, I think that like, go ahead.
It's like an argument. I know. I'm trying to make it very simple because people go into it really like
me.
Yeah, like no, do you know what I mean? No, but like, when like your mum and dad have an argument and dad's just like, yeah, whatever, I'm sorry. Like, these are hurdles that they don't want anymore. It's just getting like we're bored of it. Imagine what Xbox are like. Oh, fuck's sake, man! Just what do you want? Oh, we want Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, Overwatch, and Diablo. All right, have it. fuck off. Just shut the fuck up, right? Have all these. We'll put it on Games Pass. You have that. We want some profit. Are you happy? Well, tough shit. Like, this is what we're offering you. And then if they keep putting the blow blocks, then it's going to get to a point where the FCC going to look at it today and they'll be like, well, yeah, it's a problem. But they're going to go to a big vote and there's going to be more votes for yes and less votes for no. So it's just a point where, like Jim Ryan is going out of his way to make this hard for everybody. Like, and we're bored of it at this point. So just give them what they want. The Xbox are going to make Call of Duty money off Call of Duty anyway. It's going to put it on Games Pass. They're going to put it on Games Pass, 100%. And it's going to skyrocket.
As soon as they can.
And then there's people that don't know about Games Pass. There's people that don't give a shit about Games Pass. There's Phil across the street, buys Xbox. I play Call of Duty and FIFA, and I drink beer. Do you know what I mean? He's going to buy it for 60 quid. He's going to get Warzone. He's going to get a Battle Pass. And he's going to play FIFA Ultimate Team with the lads. And he's going to spend too much money. And Xbox profit off it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you said, like everyone in this chat, everyone on the internet, fucking another story. Boring. Daniel was like, I'm sick of hearing about it. But they want it, like, just give them what they want at this point. If PlayStation have Call of Duty, they have Call of Duty. Then their Xbox make more money. And I think at one point, Xbox are like, oh, however.
I think PlayStation's worried about the Game Pass, putting it on Game Pass, and then having that, switch people to Call of Duty on Xbox and not have them on PlayStation. Like, I think that's what they're worried about.
I get it's a money thing. I do get it's a money thing. I'm sorry that I'll keep hogging everything. But, like, let's face it, at the end of the day, PlayStation is by far the superior console right now. They've got the better games and they've got the better experiences, if you're into that thing. But for Tom, Dick, and Harry, who just play Call of Duty, they want that, they just got to play one game. And if they're going to buy, I don't know, whatever, what is it next year? Call of Duty, fucking...
There isn't one next year.
Well, let's just make one. Call of Duty.
Black Ops 5.
Yeah,
Black Ops
5.
Cold War,
They're
Vietnam War.
There you go. They're gonna buy that next year, and they're gonna see on. They're gonna go to Asda or whatever, and like Xbox. If you don't want to buy it, buy an Xbox. Bad example. But buy Games Pass, and then that, and whatever. It's boring. And this is a great deal, which is it's really weird. Like they've gone, oh, we've got rid of deal. We're in a deal with Nintendo with something we don't own. It's like me selling next door's car to next. It's like me selling their car to next door. Do you want to buy this car? I don't own it. But you can have it. Like, it don't work like that. But there's something dodgy going on, and it's words on a piece of paper. It's in the press. And it's on a piece of paper somewhere. And FCC have gone, well, Xbox have just sent me this. It says that Nintendo can have it for 10 years. So I don't know what you're moaning about. Go and have a conversation with them, sort it out, and then we can all move on from this. But from where we're standing, they're not trying to stop. They're not trying to lock it into one platform. You're just being a mild little bitch right now. And PlayStation are like, fuck's sake, didn't see that one. And now they've got to sit down and have a conversation like proper adults. Phil, what do you want? Oh, well, I just want you to stop moaning. Well, what can we do then? Oh, we'd like Call of Duty, please. Okay, you asked nicely. You can have Call of Duty. Thanks. All right, bye. I know it's business and I know it don't work like that. But that's me.
Guys, hold on. I think we're getting breaking news. Bloomberg Technology. Breaking news. The FTC has voted to sue to block Microsoft's $69 billion acquisition of Activision, saying the tie-up between Xbox maker and game publisher would harm competition.
They said a few days ago.
What do you mean zoo?
They were 3 minutes ago.
No. What I was going to say is
3 minutes ago.
What I was going to say is they said a few days ago that they were gearing up for that. So I think that Microsoft was probably prepared for that.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So let's assume Microsoft knew that beforehand. I think this whole Nintendo thing and the Steam thing was just a way for Microsoft to show the FTC, hey, this will actually be good for gaming. We are not only keeping it on platforms it's already on, but we are going to put it on more platforms. And the main thing here is Call of Duty. So we all know that.
I want to throw this out here, just to kind of everyone and see what everyone thinks here. Like, hypothetically, okay, FTC does this, sue them, the deal falls through. Microsoft has to pay, I think, a few billion because of the deal. Okay, Activision's again an independent studio, but guess what? Activision has been awful to their employees. We've seen all of these stories, especially last year. Like, is that actually going to be better for the industry? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just what does everyone think about that?
That was kind of always my thought process about this deal. is I'm not someone who's super in tune with the inner workings of competition and monopolies and that kind of thing. But from what I know about each of these individual companies, I prefer the way that first party in-house uh, developers at Xbox are treated, and the way that they're supporting developers with trying new ideas and not forcing them into certain kinds of you have to make these kind of games. And I want to see that applied to Blizzard, who is just in a hellscape right now, and Activision, who has been most of their teams have been doing the exact same thing for 20 years at this point. I want to see all those teams be given the flexibility that a more open higher up with Microsoft and Phil Spencer would allow them. But also, I understand the criticisms of monopolization. I think that's absolutely a problem, and the reason why 3 minutes ago they're getting sued, and that kind of legal action doesn't happen just randomly. So honestly, this could even stop them from going through. I mean, I don't know exactly how this works, but this seems pretty dire.
Yeah, I don't think any of us here are like legal experts, so I don't know. I couldn't speak on them being sued and knowing if that's actually going to go through and whatnot.
Yeah.
I will say with them putting stuff on Nintendo, that kind of worries me a little bit because that sounds like you're going to have to make a whole separate team there to make it work on Nintendo's platforms. Obviously, a new Switch or whatever the next Nintendo console will probably be out by the time the deal actually eventually goes through, especially if they're skipping 2023 for a new Call of Duty game and going straight to 2024. I'd assume a new Nintendo console will be out by then anyway, so maybe it'd be powerful enough to just run whatever Call of Duty's coming out that year. We don't know. But I like Tucker was saying, I would like, first of all, I want this deal to go through because I prefer Microsoft to own Activision, considering how badly Activision's been handled these last few years. And what I wanted from that was Microsoft to take away teams from Call of Duty. We do not need all these support studios and 3 giant dev studios making Call of Duty every year.
Yeah.
I would prefer just to stay with the 3, Sledgehammer, Treyarch, and Infinity Ward. If it could just be just those 3, and then we keep Toys for Bob making Crash games, we keep Beanox, Raven, all those studios, they can go out and make their own shit, make different games and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. So it kind of worries me a little bit that they're committing to even more consoles to put it on. But yeah, I don't know with the whole being sued thing now. This is really the first time where it's crossed my mind that this deal wouldn't go through. I think I've just been assuming that it will go through eventually. Ever since when did this start? In January, right?
Yeah,
that's when they announced the.
So it's been almost a year now. I've been assuming ever since then that this deal is just going to go through eventually. It might just take a while because this is the biggest deal gaming's ever seen. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird times.
Yeah. We won't really know much until things are actually being said. I mean, all of the Nintendo stuff was just within the past few days. So
yeah,
I am assuming that they knew that this was probably going to happen. Microsoft is very they do a lot with the government. They are not they're privy to being sued and things. So I am sure that they knew that this was going to happen. I'm sure that this didn't come out of left field. So we'll see what this actually ends the deal. I don't know.
I'm very sick of hearing Sony complain about this. I understand it because I think losing Call of Duty, I think a lot of people are trying to downplay losing Call of Duty. But I don't think you should. I think that's the biggest game in the world for a reason every year. And that is a very scary thing for PlayStation to lose. Even just that 30% they make off the store, that's a huge amount. It's probably more money they make off majority of their first party games, honestly.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Plus all the microtransactions.
And Call of Duty going Game Pass is something to worry about. That will drive a lot of people over to Xbox. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily blame Sony for complaining about it as much as they are, even though they do just kind of look like a bitch doing it, All right. We all good on the Call of Duty Activision stuff?
No, I'm sick of it.
Nah.
I'm sick of it. Fed up with it.
Also, what Sims was saying earlier with the Crash Bandicoot and stuff like that, I don't think PlayStation gives a flying fuck about any other franchise, really. I think they probably care about the mobile stuff.
There's such a huge gulf in terms of the not necessarily cultural importance, but monetary importance of all those franchises. Crash Bandicoot doesn't make them a lot of money. It Makes no one that much money. Makes probably fine amount of
You
money.
know
but it's
what? I
not-
was just trying to make other people happy. I was like give them a little something. All right, people like Crash.
No, after all this, if the deal goes through, they're just going to give them what they want and probably take everything else. I
Yeah.
would assume.
That's another thing. I would worry if you're PlayStation. I would be worried if this doesn't go through. What Activision or Xbox is going to do after that? They might just start gobbling up, a bunch of smaller developers. Then, if like
That,
okay, you guys aren't going to let
yeah.
this go through. Okay, we're going to buy a bunch of other shit then that will go through.
I mean, I think
It's gotta make
Colin
s-
from Sacred Symbols makes a great point. I think it was Colin, but that if the deal doesn't go through and this tells Xbox that everyone wants them to play PlayStation's games and to buy third-party exclusives or buy things like that and just actually just take exclusivity of games, not necessarily buying the studios, then they'll do that and they have more money to spend than anyone. So maybe this could ultimately be worse for everyone if they're just going to buy exclusivity for, I don't know, Final Fantasy 18 or whatever, Street Fighter 6 or whatever, right? They're just
Final
buying
Fantasy 18
exclusivity.
in 15 years.
I'm just throwing a game out there. If they start buying like exclusivity from all of these third parties, like do the same game that PlayStation does. I mean, if that's what they want, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm sick of talking about this story. Hopefully it ends soon. Someone kill me. Next up, HBO has released yet another trailer for The Last of Us TV show. The show is still premiering on January 15th next year. Guys, did we all watch this trailer?
Which trailer? Sorry.
Yes.
The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah, I watched it. We
Okay,
we
cool.
talked a little bit about it on the Discord.
yeah,
I
we
think
did,
it
yeah.
looks fine, but I hated the use of the song in it. I thought it was really
Why?
obnoxious.
Why?
Take on me.
Really upsets
really
me that you
stupid.
said that. I
It
think
was a
brilliant.
weird version of that song.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that the song is a bad choice, as Daniel mentioned, that the song has relevance to the games. I think that's fine, but it's about context. And this trailer is supposed to be somber and like brooding, and it's just like da 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 da. It's like what the fuck are you doing? No,
Too happy.
Yeah, but
It's
That's
too
the
happy
element.
for
That's the song. I mean,
post-apocalyptic.
yeah,
but-
the version of the song that you know is the Ellie one that sings
Yeah,
it
but
more somberly.
the whole
you know?
the whole song is that's it. That's all it is. That's it. That's all it is like
Big
remember
wink.
that? Just a massive wink. Like for people that are listening on audio devices, Stephen winked at the camera. It's admittedly, it's like, oh, it's really sad. Zombies. Oh, we gotta get out of here alive. He's scared. Zombies. Like,
you get it.
admittedly,
You
like,
get it.
It's like Dead Rising. It's goofy. Yeah.
A couple interesting things out of this trailer, though. We finally got to see Ellie's sense of humor come through in the show. I was worried they'd just like skip over all that and she'd just be sad the whole time. We saw Ashley Johnson holding a baby. Presumably, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but people are saying she's playing Ellie's mom, so maybe we get some sort of flashback.
As far as I've
scenes to
heard,
that.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I don't know.
mother. I mean,
Someone's mother for sure. She was holding that baby. And then we
Maybe she's
saw
a baby thief. Maybe
Oh,
that's her
no.
character.
Maybe she
just
is
an
a baby
episode,
thief.
random
Tough
episode of
shit
some
out there
girl
in the
stealing
Last of Us.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing you want in a zombie apocalypse is more babies. That's
of course.
Hey, you tell people in Walking Dead, because Walking Dead people are just banging. Like,
that's a good point. Well, they got nothing else to do. And then we saw Troy Baker as part of David's gang in the trailer, which is interesting. Maybe they'll flesh out the gang a little bit more. I don't remember exactly meeting other members of that gang in the game.
You do.
Do
You do.
Okay. Maybe
They're
just
just
don't
not.
go into it.
Yeah, they're just not as big of a role as David. But you
No.
meet a few of them.
You don't remember the guy in the chair that, like,
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah,
Guy in the chair.
he's gonna pop Troy Baker's kneecap.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
maybe that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah, torture Troy. That'd be fun.
Good use of them.
Yeah.
Where's that? I know how this ends, man.
Oh no! No spoilers. No spoilers.
Nick, how excited are you for this show?
I'm a little excited. You know how most of these video game movie adaptations go. I already got let down by 2, Resident Evil and Mortal Kombat. Those were trash fires of a movie. But at least Sonic was good. I enjoyed that, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean, made by the guy who did Chernobyl, so I hope it's
Craig
really
Mazin.
good. I mean, just looking by the trailer, it's visually stunning, and I don't know how true they're gonna stick with the original storyline from the game. So that'd be my little big pet peeve, because I know you gotta bend a couple things around, because they're not necessarily playing a game, you're actually watching it. So we'll see what they'll change up, if it's the change for the good or the bad. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I will.
they're sticking more to the game. It seems like they are, and then just adding different things, like Ellie's mom and stuff like that. I would hope that's the way they're going. What do you want to say, Danny?
I was just gonna say we were hypothesizing kind of, before we saw a lot of the game, like how much of the first game would be in season 1, right?
Yeah.
It seems like they're going all the way from there all the way to winter. They're like,
Yeah.
we haven't really seen, the spring, but it seems like they're doing the whole thing in just one season. I would assume. I doubt they're gonna save, we're not gonna see a lot of the stuff in Seattle, but I assume we're gonna go to Seattle
Mhm.
by the end of this season.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll, if it's successful enough, what do you think you would want another season?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
mean, you could do
Absolutely,
season.
we'll get a season 2 based on part 2. 100%. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See,
Oh,
I
you gonna
wonder if
piss
they go
everybody
straight
off.
to part 2 with season 2, or if they kind of do like an in between season, because there's a lot of time between Last of Us Part 1 and Last of Us Part 2. So I wonder if we try to add in something, make up a new story for an in between season, let the actress that plays Ellie age up a little bit.
True.
build up
Yeah,
build
great
up
point.
the town
Yeah.
that they're in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
build up
Grow.
Dina, build up. You could even introduce Abby early. You could even introduce Abby at the end of this season if you wanted to.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
She's the post credits.
oh
That'd be
oh,
cool.
that'd be
Post
so
credits,
good.
she
That's
grabs
so
a
good.
pistol.
She grabs a golf club.
Oh no, no.
But no,
Ah.
you got to do the like a Rocky 4 montage of her working out, getting buff for this next season.
Love it. She's
Holy
training
shit.
with Apollo.
Top of the
But I do think
mountain.
that there is an interesting potential here for them to, for the first time outside of the games, expand the story of The Last of Us in terms of time periods that we don't know about. Yeah, I'm interested in learning more about what, Dina and Jesse and all these people from, God, what's the name of the town in Colorado where they live?
That's not Colorado,
Radiator
is it?
Springs.
Oh,
No, that's
Radiator
not.
Springs.
I don't, I'm just getting mixed up. But I think that having that be better established would make the story of part 2, when they do get to that, even more impactful, and seeing the relationships between these characters that we like so much in part 2. I mean, I love that supporting cast. I'd love to see them established even more, or even have that middle season, this hypothetical middle season, be also told from 2 points of view, and see how the WLFs are set up at the beginning, because that whole thing in the football stadium is one of the coolest things in The Last of Us. I'd love to see that be built up from the ground up, or see what the beginnings of that were, or even the Seraphites. Learn a little bit more about their culture. Fracture this into other stories, so when you do return for part 2, you already have a much deeper connection to Abby and Lev, and this supporting cast for Dina and Jesse and them, which I do because I loved part 2. But this is an even bigger opportunity to learn more about those characters.
100%. Imagine the scene where Jesse gets shot.
Yeah.
But you've built him up throughout a whole season or 2 already.
Yeah.
I was thinking a prequel with the Tommy and Joel for 20 years. That's what I want to see. That's what I've wanted to see, is the 20 years of the worst things you could possibly imagine that they did.
Yeah.
That's what I would like.
I think you're muted, Sims.
I don't even remember pressing that button. Do we think so? Bloody brilliant games, mouthful. Do we think it will lack the eerie emptiness because you're not wandering around the areas yourself? I think it being in on it, it being on HBO, so it's premium. With the guy that made Chernobyl, I watched Chernobyl. How are you guys saying it? Chernobyl.
Chernobyl.
I get my head about these words.
Chernobyl.
That set the scene really well. It was you could smell like how the fear, if that makes sense. Like like Resident Evil,
Got
like,
a
you could
smell of
smell
vision.
it. Do you know what I mean? You could smell like the fear, the radiation, like the panic. So I think they're gonna set the scene for it to be like, you've got what's his face there, good
Pedro.
muscles, nice hair. Who's the guy that made the Last
Pedro
of Us?
Pascal.
Oh, the guy that directed Last
Oh,
of Us.
Neil
Neil
Druckmann.
Druckmann.
Neil
Neil
Druckmann's
Druckmann?
there, so he's gonna be like, listen, gotta be this way or no way.
Yeah,
As simple as. And then the Chernobyl guy's like, I don't know, mate. I made Chernobyl. Did you watch Chernobyl? He's like, yeah, I can't say I did. And the blah issues. And then Roxanne and Hope are no, I'm joking.
That is
Yeah.
one thing they're doing very well, though, is the aesthetic of Last of Us.
Yeah, I
is
mean,
very
that
much
scene,
there
that
with
scene
the
in the
leaves
trailer
on the
with
building and all
stairs,
that looks
yeah.
great. Very Kirby in the Forgotten
Yep.
Land. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that is in the univerce. It's
Yeah,
confirmed.
That's the post-credit scene. Kirby just sucking up
Oh,
a car.
yes, it's
Oh,
it's
shit.
mouthful mode Kirby.
Abby comes behind him with a fucking bat.
But in all seriousness, though, like, what I mean, I think by the looks of it, they're going from beginning to end, aren't they? So are we gonna see? You know, we all know the scene. Spoilers for Last of Us Part 1. He literally mows down everybody in the hospital, walks into the hospital, and in number 1, if you play number 1 when it first came out with no context, you just shoot the doctor. Like, you don't give a fuck. Like, boom, straight in the head, see in a bit. That scene's gonna be so much more poignant word,
Poignant?
poignant, that's the word, because you're gonna see, you be like, well, I know what happens next. It's like I played Last of Us
Yeah.
Part 1 again before Part 2, and I'd read the spoilers, so I was
Yeah.
like proper looking at this doctor, and I was like, wow, like this has so much repercussions at this point. And then I was wondering in Part 1 remake if they'd like chuck in a little like cutscene or put a bit more like, is it the same? That's a good question. Who's played Part 1 remake? Anybody played it all the way through? Daniel, Connor, have
No,
you
I
played
got
it?
I got
I
halfway.
didn't buy it.
So I want to see if the doctor at the end is the
The
same.
Doctor is the character model of the
I'm
guy in
pretty-
Last of Us Part 2. Yeah.
Yeah, same character model, but I'm pretty sure like they didn't add any new
No, I know,
dialogue
but
or
it
anything.
would have made
Okay.
it a time. You know, even a few
Oh
more.
yeah, I would
words.
have liked that.
And like, even
Yeah.
if it was just, oh, don't shoot, man, I got a daughter. And then
Yeah.
obviously you shoot him, like just something like that. But
Yeah, I wouldn't be
like,
surprised if in the show it's like a bigger name actor
Yeah.
playing that doctor. That way we get flashback scenes with him in Part 2.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nick.
yeah.
Go for it, Nick.
My thing is, for people who haven't played the game, I want to hear their reactions for like the end of this. Be like,
Oh, yeah.
what? He did that just to save that Luger? He had this chance to save humanity and he did that?
Oh no,
And
yeah.
then in season two is
Yeah.
gonna really crush him. Be like, they killed. Oh, it's spoilers for Last of Us Part 2. They
We
killed
all
you.
fucking know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is I'm sure we've all got loved ones that don't play video games, but like I can't wait to say, Dad, you need to watch this. Like, you have to sit down and watch this. Because they're like The Walking Dead. My stepmom did. I was like, look, this is pretty much not the same premise, but it is a premise of like zombies, etc. Have to watch this, and then get him to watch all 9 episodes, and then just sit down and was like, look, what did you think? I was like, look, and then hopefully, like, you know, like, look, here's the PlayStation 4. Like, just play Last of Us. He won't. He played Burnout on the Xbox. That's it. But yeah, I really want. I can't wait to hear or see, like, mainly here. Like, I want to try and get people at work watching it. I was like, look, let's watch this.
Yeah.
It's really good. And then they're going, oh my god, I can't believe that happened. It's so good. I was like, yeah, I know. It's fucking amazing. Like, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about my dad. I was like, my dad watches a lot of crap TV, so I'm like, Dad, look, start watching CSI. Watch this.
I know Tucker. You're a big movie fan, and over your channel you review a lot of movies. I'm not the biggest fan of one take shots. I think it can be done well. It can be overused as well. What I would do for that final episode, leave like the last 30 minutes for the end and kind of setting up. But like, if it's going to be an hour-long episode, have that first 30 minutes of that last episode just be Joel, one shot camera killing everyone. And
Wow, yeah, that'd be really
in
impactful.
the hospital, really impactful. Just follow him back
Absolutely.
onto his back, and he's just mowing, just
I think-
beating
I
everyone
think
down.
That's
That's what I would do.
That's a really good, like, pretty much like they've got to do it that way because they've got to they've kind of got to hammer home especially at the end of that episode. They have to go, this guy's a bad guy, but is he a bad? Like, you know what I mean? Literally end it on a, I don't know how I feel about that. Just like how we did in playing a game, but
That's how they want it.
We played, but we played the game and we had the conversations and the little tidbits and the things that we probably won't get in the TV show. But like, you know, even the little conversations that they have that we won't get. Like Daniel, like Sam said in the chat. So having that half an hour of him just going ham, gets into the hospital room, blood everywhere. Maybe he's got a gunshot wound, etc. And then he shoots him, and then the next half an hour is, you know, him then he shoots the other person as well. So him at the end, and then she wakes up and is like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Oh, it didn't work, etc." And she's like, "Promise." And then at the end of it, you're like, "Fucking hell, this guy's a wanker." And then post credit scenes, you got her at the end of her on that mountain in Russia, and she's like, "Joe."
I think 30 minutes. You pushing 30 minutes a little bit too long for that kind of scene like there. Because yeah. I mean, obviously you got to have a little bit more story build up before he does all that. Because like in the game, you don't really see him get set off to be like, "Look, I'm gonna just go ahead and mow down." So I guarantee there's gonna be like, "Oh, she's gonna die. And they're gonna do like a quick flashback of him and Sarah, and be like, I'm not losing another daughter, so-called, for over this."
In the trailer, you see the moment they embrace. Like, that's gonna break me. That is gonna break me when he.
There's also the shot he's carrying her too.
It's just gonna break me.
Yeah,
of like him running, carrying.
I got you, baby girl. Yeah, I have kids and I relate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just no, man. Oh man, games are cool, man. Video games are cool, man.
Sometimes. Cool, man. Next up, a new trailer for Dragon Age Dreadwolf dropped online. Still no word on release date yet for the game. Might get more news at the Game Awards tonight. Who knows?
Yeah,
maybe. I would think so.
Daniel, stick with you. What did you think of the trailer?
It's interesting. I'm not the biggest fan, but I do know some lore stuff, and I know that this was a character that has been around for a lot of the games, and he was a party member, and then now is like kind of like he's going to be the main villain. It seems cool. I'm not really a big Dragon Age person. I'm waiting for their next game, Mass Effect. So, but yeah, I know that so many people have been waiting for this game, and they've been teasing this game. They finally got a name this year, and I think they were in alpha this year. So yeah, maybe next year if they're pushing it. I'd say maybe early 2024. But yeah, hopefully we can get something at Game Awards.
Yeah, watching this trailer just reminded me how much I don't like Dragon Age. I was just like, yeah, I kind of hate the lore and like the characters and all this shit. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been able to really get into one, so maybe this will be the one. I think they just need like a really cool combat system to get me in, because Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't it, if you guys remember that 10 years ago. But yeah, I don't know. Nick, you been into Dragon Age at all?
No. It was funny because I was talking to my friend John.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, new Dragon Age coming out. But like, yo, I'm just ready for Dragon Age to come out so we can move on to the next thing, which is Mass Effect. Yeah. All right. That's all I really want. More Mass Effect.
I know Connor's dead jealous of like you having that John friend that talks about Dragon Age, because his John friend's like, hey man, we're playing Call of Duty Madden. And he's like, oh man.
I hate
it's gonna be a long shift. It's gonna be a long shift.
Tucker, anything?
No, nothing.
No.
Never played Dragon Age, frankly. What open world maybe? Who knows?
Yeah.
You're probably not missing out that much.
There's so much to fucking play.
Dragon Age is just the one fantasy franchise that just like, I don't know, it just cannot catch on to a mass audience.
It always blows my mind to remember that Inquisition won Game of the Year.
It should
at like a lot of places in 2014.
Granted, that was a bad year in games just in general, I thought. But
I think if you look back at 2014, it is not nearly as bad as people think it is.
There's like
games just got overlooked.
Sunset Overdrive and Shadow of Mordor, like those are cool.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of indie games there too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that bad, but like over recent, if you give me like the last 10 years, it's probably the worst.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a 2014 list here. I mean, the
Shovel
stuff that I
Knight,
think
Bayonetta
has really
2.
stuck around.
There's
Destiny.
good games every year, but it's just like, compared to other years, that's the worst.
Yeah, and also a lot of the good stuff that the best stuff that's stuck around is not stuff that usually gets nominated for biggest
Yeah.
awards. Shovel Knight, Tropical Freeze,
Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8.
Stick of Truth. Yeah, Mario Kart 8, Bayonetta 2,
I think
Smash
Bros.
4.
Wii U was that year. Bayonetta
Yeah.
2 was that year, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Nintendo stuff that year.
Look, it's a good
but
year.
again, this kind of stuff is like
I was just saying that I just think that people hate that year when the year was way better than people think it is.
Sure.
That's
Wolfenstein
all.
New Order. That's a great game.
Yeah, that's a great game. Very good
Yeah.
video game.
It was a good game.
But then they're like the big AAA stuff is like Far Cry 4 and Advanced Warfare and Watch Dogs, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay?
Watch
We're
Dogs.
not speaking ill of Watch Dogs, okay?
Oh, I know. I never
Listen,
played it,
John.
but it's no Tropical Freeze.
It is not. You're right.
I played a Dragon Age. What was it on the 360? 360.
Well, one
There
and
was
two.
It was either 2 or Origins.
Maybe Origins. And like, I don't know what I was trying to achieve, but I was playing it and I was like, oh, I really like this. I didn't, but I played it. Like, do you know what I mean? I was like, I think I was
That is
like,
not high
oh.
praise.
And I was like,
Oh
oh.
God.
And now I don't remember anything of it. I don't remember any of it. No. Nothing.
Man, there's a fan base out there somewhere,
Oh, yeah.
but it ain't
Under
here.
some cane,
Ain't
under
us.
some rocks. Look,
It's just
oh,
so weird too, because like it's BioWare and it's a fantasy game. Like that should work, Like I love Mass Effect, I love KOTOR, I love even some BioWare's older shit. I love, but I don't know. Dragon Age has just never caught on to me.
Yeah.
Sims, what you gonna say?
I was just reading what Sam says. He goes, probably be a big premiere tonight by Keeley. The thing I'm concerned about, Daniel 2 point of waiting for the next Mass Effect is if this game flops, BioWare could be shot by EA. And given Dragon Age is pretty mediocre, though it's a previous through its previous games, I hope BioWare survives because I can see EA saying if it flops, following Anthem, that BioWare are getting shut down. Hopefully not. I mean, they've announced Mass Effect, and like I think if they shoot BioWare down and Mass Effect dies, I can see riots in the street. To be fair,
I think that's tough to say they're gonna shut. I think where EA is now, they're different than when they were shutting Visceral and stuff down. I think they're just in a different mindset now. And you have to also think that how many employees they have now. There's 2 different main Mass Effect teams, and I think that there is a smaller. I'm sorry, not BioWare teams. There's 2 of them, and then I think that there's another smaller one that's like more of a support studio. So they're gonna just get rid of all of those employees. I feel like that's not a move you do right now. Everyone's trying to retain employees, not fire them.
Yeah, they'd have to at the very least get that next Mass Effect game out before they even consider shutting them down.
I think we just re-released the Mass Effect trilogy again.
I'd be down.
Yeah.
It just did that. Give me 4 already. That's all I need.
Right.
I've told you before, like last year's summer was the best summer of my entire life.
Wow. Saying a lot
Like,
considering you're 60-something years old.
Like staying indoors, playing Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. Me and Shepard, we went on a journey, man. We connected, man. You know when like you took a one. You went this summer. It's hot. You're at the campfire. You smoking a doobie, and you just talking, man, connecting. That's what me and Shepard we did. Like, shit, we're here again, Shep. He's like, yeah, man.
I don't know how you did that. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
really
man,
weird
man.
considering Shepard's like the most boring character in those
Nah,
games.
he's not
You didn't talk
boring,
to
man.
everyone else.
I have some more breaking news.
Oh god.
Breaking news. Microsoft has responded to the FTC, the suing.
They just
of
sent that
FTC.
lyric in Eminem's song. The FTC won't let me
Won't
be.
let me
They're trying to
be,
shut
and let
down
me
on
be me,
MTV.
so let me free. Trying to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me. Yes.
Eminem took her, old school rapper in the 90s. Very, very controversial, actually. And that's why he says in MTV tried to shut him down. MTV, a popular TV show in the 90s.
80s
They
and
did
90s.
show-
Good team, that
they
one.
did- they
so
did
basically
TV
what they-
shows like
Wow.
His voice just keeps going up
I
and
don't know
up.
what he's doing.
Squeaking at this
What they
point.
say is, while we believe in giving peace a chance, we have the complete confidence in our case and welcome the opportunity to present our case in court. So that's they were probably prepared for this.
Yep.
And
I
they
thought he
are
was gonna
they.
say why we consider giving peace a chance. This means war now.
This mean they're putting their face paint on now. Microsoft ready. Phil Spencer's going to drop an elbow.
He'll post a picture of him with a machete.
Oh no!
All right, no, he's coming in there with the Spartan uniform on.
Oh,
Let's
he's
go.
gonna helmet up.
There you go. He's got naked Master Chief with him.
No, please, no,
No,
Master Cheeks.
Please don't. All right. Well, that's something. Getting real now. All right. Well, we're gonna move on to our next news story.
I just wanted to give you an update.
Sure. Next up, then, the first Elden Ring DLC has been released. It is the long rumored Coliseum PvP mode. It's out now. You can go play it. Sims just left. I think he just left because he challenged Daniel to fighting in Elden Ring. Like a
He's
couple
dead.
weeks back.
He's about to show up at your house, Daniel.
Yeah.
With a big ass sword.
It's funny he just left during this story because he knows.
I turn around. He has the two great swords. Jump and smash him.
He summons the wolves.
I was about
Yeah,
to
this
tell
is
my
cool.
kid, Tyler, right, listen, yeah. No, listen, I was level 400. I platted Elden Ring. I will whoop all your asses, okay? I come on Elden Ring now. Come at me, bro. Don't be fucking talking shit. I walk away talking shit about Elden Ring. I platted Elden Ring. We don't talk about that enough on this podcast. We don't talk enough about it. I should get praise. I should get respect. I should get a knighthood.
You want a cookie? Because I platinum it too. So what?
No. You are
Nick
part-time.
probably actually played the game too. Sims did little more than watching the game through a Twitch stream.
No, wrong actually. I watched it on a YouTube video.
What did
and
you
I can't
do?
remember his name. But he was great.
You watched the whole follow playthrough. Yeah.
And I got to level 400.
Yeah, I mean,
Rune
but if we
drops.
were to actually PvP, I'd beat you because you could barely beat bosses when you're level 400.
No, listen, I will slash you in 2 hits.
You wouldn't touch me. If you
I
can't beat
swear
these
to
other
God.
bosses being level 400.
No, I was beating them.
Yeah, you said you were struggling.
I
On the
struggled on
show, you
last
said you were
boss.
struggling.
I struggled on last boss.
Yeah,
What,
you're
because
level 400.
What was
You
the
literally
last?
hit
The last
Elden
who was,
Beast 4 times. He's dead.
was it Melania? Melania, like she
Melania,
just don't
yeah.
get your statue out, right? But like before you even started, like she slashed and you were dead. The game's broken, rigged.
No, it's you.
No, you, Daniel. Anyway, back to Tucker.
reminds
Tucker,
me
they
a
did
lot
a
of when
show
Sims
called
challenged me in
My
UFC
Sweet
4.
16. They did, there was Cribs. Oh, Celebrity Deathmatch. That was a good one. You should watch that on YouTube.
I think he's Celebrity Deathmatch.
Mate, back in the 90s, man. Oh, Pimp My Ride with Exhibit. Oh my God, you know what they do, right? All right. They had these things called cars back in the 90s, right?
Sure, yeah.
And you know what
Not
they put
anymore,
in the
though.
car? You know what they put in the car? They put microwaves in the car. Why the fuck do you need a microwave in your car?
PS2 in the
The
car.
PS2. Yo, man, I'm gonna pimp this out with a PS2, man. So we could be playing, you could be driving and playing Need for Speed. And the Exhibit's like, oh yeah. And he's always got a spinny thing, so he's always spinning that. Like John
Yeah,
Cena.
his chain. Yeah.
A lot of spinny things in the 90s, weren't there, Connor?
Yeah, a lot, plenty.
And then
The
the
Elden Ring
2000 came
DLC
around and
though.
it was only Beyblades.
Beyblades, man. Yeah.
Fucking Beyblades, mate. You don't understand about Beyblade. Like that
I
end,
was-
that
I
theme
was
suit.
into
Oh, mate. Anyway, I gotta go tidy my kids' room up because, ooh-wee, the Melomodos get everywhere, you know.
Does anyone actually plan on jumping back into Elden Ring? Playing this
No.
DLC at all? No.
Hell no.
Are we all just
No.
waiting for like an actual expansion here?
Yes.
No, I won't even play that. Really, it's
Yeah,
you won't
it's
play
too
that,
late for
really.
me. No, it's too late for me.
You love Elden Ring.
Yeah, I know.
You bought a
It's
statue.
easily the best game this year.
You bought a
But
statue.
I don't know. Like,
that's
the
commitment.
think about the. Yeah, it is. The this Coliseum stuff. People have been glitching into those areas, so I
Yeah.
think people already kind of knew that they were like at least an area in the game. It could be like actual DLC, but this is the PvP stuff, which is super cool. It's a
Yeah.
free update. Like, good for them. I know that there's a small community that is PvPers, but like it's a pretty dedicated community. So this is just giving them more content to play with.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's great that this happened, but it's not for me. I'm already not good enough at Souls games to like. I mean, I played most of Elden Ring, but not all of it and finish the game. I'm fine with that. But I would get my ass handed to me 6 ways a Sunday by other players, and that's fine. I'll just never do it. That's okay by me.
Me too. Every time someone invaded my game, I was like, "Fuck."
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm just trying to get shit done. Leave me alone.
I only did it for that quest because there's that guy with the mask you meet at the very beginning of the game. He like if you meet him at the lakes, he like tells you to like go invade and get like invade 5 times or whatever. So I just did that for his little quest line or whatever.
Yeah.
Nick, any plans? Jump back in.
Man, it's been too long. I wouldn't even know where to start, man. And like Tucker said, I was getting my ass handed from the start anyway. So why would I bother getting my ass handed in the Coliseum? So I was pretty much getting one-shotted by everything near the end game. I was like, well, I just got to group up with some people to beat this game because I ain't going to beat it by myself.
Oh, you could do that. There's no shame in that. No shame in getting people to help or using summons. No shame.
That last boss, that's all I did. It's just like, all right, give me someone.
Help me.
I just stood back like, you handle this.
I'm back here.
Next up, Vampire Survivors will be getting its first DLC on December 15th for only $2. It will include 8 extra characters, 13 new weapons, 6 music tracks, and the game's biggest stage yet. Tucker, have you checked out Vampire Survivors at all?
Yeah, I've played probably 5 or 6 hours of it. It's a game that I think is great. It's super addicting. Me and my friends had a lot of fun playing it, like switching off the controller every time we died. But it's not a game type because it's so arcadey that I personally get super invested in. And also like the system of unlocking new characters and new stages and stuff is a little too slow for my taste. So like new DLC is great for people who are like already tried all the weapon combinations and played all the stages. But for me, if I wanted to go play that game, I still have so much that I haven't seen and that it would take me a long time to like get through and see that this is nothing for me. But I love that they're supporting this game. I mean, this game is it's so unique in terms of what's been popular this year that I'm really glad that it's found its community and has continued to get support.
Yeah, I've played probably like an hour of this game in all. I really like it. It's one of those I'm going to consistently just keep downloading it on my Xbox and
Yeah,
just
of
pop
course.
in now and then. So I might actually buy this
Especially because
DLC.
it's so small.
Yeah, exactly. So I might actually just buy this and then, eventually I will get to it. I will get to this new stage and the new characters and all that and have fun with it. For only $2, why not?
Yeah, there's already so much content for. I think they're selling it for like 6 or something on like if you don't play it on
Game Pass.
Yeah, if you don't play it on Game Pass.
Oh, is
like,
that how much it costs without?
It's very cheap. It's
Really?
Yeah.
I
it's
didn't
so
know
cheap.
that.
And the fact that this DLC is $2 to $3 or whatever, that's like almost another half of another game, right? Like they're putting a lot of content in this game. Like this is such a good deal. Like go support this game. Super great game.
Nick, have you played it at all?
Nope.
Not yet. Download it. It's on Game Pass. It's fun, man.
Yeah,
I got to get that.
Oh, you haven't got Game Pass right now?
Nah, I took a break, man. There wasn't a lot of stuff on there that I was like really enjoying. I was like, next year.
Yeah, I felt the exact same way. I think the only reason that God, why did I get it again? Scorn and Pentiment and I guess also Vampire Survivors. I played quite a few games. Like I go through bursts of being invested in Game Pass. I'll get Game Pass and be like, God, there's so many fucking games on here. Oh, this is so cool. And then I'll play like 5 of them back to back, and then I'll forget about Game Pass for like 5 months. So, it balances out. I've certainly gotten my money's worth out of Game Pass, but it's not something that I stay subscribed to consistently, especially considering like they don't. I mean, come on, guys. No first party games this year except for Pentiment. That is pathetic. It is sad. So I'm excited for next year though, with bigger things.
Yeah,
this
they
is
always
actually
do
the first year they've been able to keep me just all year.
Really?
I just, I consider canceling it, and then I like look what's next month game coming out, and I'm like, oh, I kind of actually want to check that out. So I ended up keeping it. Like 2 Point Campus and stuff like that kept me going for a while. So
that's what I need to try. Yeah,
there is always something
fun.
launching every month that is just worth that price, even if it's just an indie game. Like,
sure. Yeah,
like I don't really see like if you have a console and you just play regularly, I don't really see why you wouldn't have it all the time. Like I have really no reason to cancel. Like they constantly are putting something out, even if it's not first party. They're always making day one deals, so there's always something every month to play.
I don't have it in here, but even more of a reason to keep Game Pass now is that Microsoft is upping their first party games to $70 just like the rest of the industry now.
True. Yeah.
But yeah, I find that even more of a reason now. And it's like, okay, well, I'm definitely keeping Game Pass pretty much all year next year.
It's just making it look better.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, cool. And then our last news story. An oddly large amount of games have been leaked with possible release dates this week, including, and we'll go one by one here, including Star Wars Jedi Survivor with a Steam page listing the game for March 16th. Stop there, guys. March 16th, Jedi Survivor. Probably get confirmation later today. It's the Game Awards going on. We excited?
Of course. I know
Oh, yeah.
Tucker's not, but of course we
No,
are. I know.
I am.
Okay.
I really do think that this kind of big budget adventure Star Wars game, especially in the gameplay style of that sort of very light soul style exploration and combat, I think that all has a lot of potential. I just didn't like Fallen Order. I thought the game was not that good. I platinumed it, but I didn't think it was good.
I did everything in the game, but I didn't.
That's such a Sims move. Where is he?
Well,
That is a
yeah, no,
Sims move.
the interesting thing about that game is it actually got my opinion on it dropped the more that I played it. Because as you start going for the platinum and have to like start defeating this amount of enemies and make sure that you get this specific kind of combo done, you realize that the game, like in its seams, is kind of borked. Like the anime AI is terrible, the combat and the collision detection is a little bit wonky. And I was like the last trophy that I got, I was like standing on top of a little area watching stormtroopers like walk in circles as I was like waiting for them to like spawn and like fall off a cliff. And like the game is pretty broken in specific areas, especially when you're like trying to push it to its limits to get that platinum. But there is potential in there. And I think that with a sequel, they could fix my problems. But I pushed back against the Fallen Order being one of the best games of its year. Thing that some people say.
2019 was a great year for games.
Was I got some good stuff
Yep.
there.
I actually thought that was like one of the worst years. I put that like 2014 in the last decade.
I mean,
was, like,
I think
the
it's
worst years.
especially the years
It's
around
just
it. But like,
surrounded.
Maybe it's just because
Yeah.
I hated Death Stranding, but
but if you, I think if
nonetheless.
you go look back at 2019 again, like how we did with 2014, there's a lot of good games in that.
Yeah, of course.
year. I mean,
Oh,
obviously
absolutely.
the best game that year was Slay the Spire. I mean, easily.
All right, well, we're doing this again. 2019 games. All right, hold on. I'm gonna run through some stuff.
Please tell me it's not
For
Slay.
me-
Come on, it's Slay the Spire.
For me, there's a lot of good stuff that's like really specific. Control,
Yeah.
perfect example. Three Houses, Luigi's
Three
Mansion,
Houses. Oh yeah,
uh,
Luigi's Mansion.
Sekiro, Resident Evil 2
Sekiro.
remake, Outer Worlds,
Yes, of course.
Apex, Mario Maker 2, Devil May Cry 5, Mortal
yeah.
Kombat 11,
Look at all
Goose Game,
this. Goose Game.
Sayonara Wild Hearts. So like, yeah, there's Outer Wilds. There's definitely some good stuff here. Baba Is You, Astral Chain, Tetris 99, Katana Zero. Yeah. 2019 is not that bad. I mean, it's no 2017, 2018, or 2020, but
Yeah,
Exactly.
of course.
It's the years it's surrounded by. That's the problem.
yeah.
But no,
And also
back to
because
Star Wars.
like
Okay.
Sekiro and Death Stranding are kind of like the two that like rose to the top in terms of the game of the year conversation, and neither of those, at least at the time, were games that I was like particularly interested in. But when you compare that to like 2017, that's Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, or 2018, that's God of War, Red Dead, or Spider-Man, and then 2020 got Last of Us 2. Is like there's not like one that floats to the top, which this year does have with Elden Ring. So good on them for that.
We've talked about it with 2021 last year, Tucker. Me and you have been we were on the side of that was a great year for games.
Yeah,
but
I
like,
really do think
a
it
lot
was.
of people didn't agree with us. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to Star Wars. I quite enjoyed Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I think that was my game of the year that year, even though Kingdom Hearts 3 came out that year as well. That was another good one. Well, some would say. But I'm super stoked for the sequel. Can't wait to see where the story goes. I really like the characters from Fallen Order. The combat could use some work. I think I platinumed it as well, and you could see some of the ins and outs of that games that created a problem when you did go for the platinum there. But yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I loved the Respawn, especially the last generation, man. They killed it, Titanfall, Apex, Titanfall 2, and then this. I think they were one of the better developers of that generation in whole. So can't wait to see how they kick off this gen.
Yeah, Respawn's got to be one of the. I mean, at this point, it's EA's premium developer right now, right? I mean, they're killing it for EA. Name like anyone that's consistent right now for them. Really, no one. I mean, in terms of sales, I guess you could say the sports games, but in terms of high bar of quality, it's Respawn for them.
Especially with how different they all are. Like, obviously, Titanfall 1 and 2 are very similar, and then Apex, somewhat similar, but a different genre, and then Jedi Fallen Order, which is a completely different genre. Nick, how did you feel about Fallen Order?
It was all right.
All right.
Yeah, but I say, I mean, the best way people were comparing it was like, yeah, it's Star Wars, Dark Souls, and I was not feeling that kind of like because I'm thinking it's going to be like what's that one Star Wars game, Jedi Academy kind of feel to it, and I was like, yeah, this ain't because that's when I wasn't really into those soul kind of games. So like one hit is going to take me out of it. I'm like, nah, I'm not feeling this. But I mean, I stuck with it. I beat it. It's just like once I was done, I was like, that's it. I'm not going back to it. But I mean, if the sequel is going to be over the top, like if they can convince me with what they showed tonight, then I'll be like, oh hell yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get Jedi Survivor.
Yeah.
Next game then, Street Fighter 6 with a release date of June 2nd, 2023 from a leaked PS Store image. June 2nd. We know we're getting a beta for Street Fighter 6 or an alpha, whatever the fuck we're calling it.
It'd be more open because
It's a
they've had other like people play throughout, like I think private betas. I think.
Cool. So yeah, Street Fighter 6. Nick, I think you're a huge Street Fighter fan, right?
No.
No? Okay. I was assuming you were gonna like whip out a back tattoo of like Ryu or something.
No, I can't whip my leg up because I'm in the car. I got the Melina tattoo on my leg, so I'm that fan.
Let's go.
We're gonna need you to find a way to put your leg on the camera, all right?
Be like,
Oh,
I mean, I
sexy
can.
leg.
What?
There we
What's
go.
that?
There you go.
Whoa! Look at you.
That's badass.
Nice.
Is
This
anybody
guy's
really
the
impressed with
exception.
how flexible he is? Like, other than the tattoo?
Well, can you not do that?
Yeah, man, watch, listen to me.
Hey, look, if he falls back in his chair, I'm not responsible.
That's close. That's close.
So,
Almost
yeah,
breaks his neck.
about the same.
Yes, they're Gears of War socks, and yes, I'm cooler than all of you.
But yeah, June 2nd. I think that sounds about right. I think they said summer at one point.
I think they said summer. Yeah.
Yeah, so that sounds about right. Good date. The week before E3, so everyone will be hyped for video games.
And there's another one that we'll talk about that's supposed to be the week before E3.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Daniel, Street Fighter 6. I know you're very excited.
Oh yeah, let's go, baby. Give me some Hadoukens, Shoryuken, and he just uppercuts him. Yeah.
I'm
Cool
really excited
characters.
for like this hub world thing they got going on there. I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell they're
Just
doing.
go around
Walking
playing,
around,
like-
fighting kids.
You play like machines. You like go stand next to somebody and can play them. That's how you fight them. Really weird.
Yeah, I'm interested in Street Fighter 6 because it does seem like a significant like change for fighting games with that semi, small world that you can walk around and do like maybe brawler fights in or something. Part of my reason that I don't get super into fighting games is this skill level is pretty high, and that's also something they're addressing here. There's a lot of like, accessibility features and like simplified controls, which I'm interested in trying. And maybe that's not the greatest for different kinds of players, but it does bring in more people, which I think is nice. And also just the fact that fighting games for the most part feel pretty disconnected. It's just like, yeah, go in and do your fights, and these characters have backstories that you can find through other ways. But unless you're NetherRealm and you're doing like those big stories that everyone loves, there's not really. It's just it's an arcade game. It's intended to do fights, but I think giving it more context with that open world, a little bit greater focus on the story, already like puts it a step up in my mind. So I'm definitely excited to see what they do, especially considering Street Fighter 5 was pretty controversial, at least as far as I've heard. I guess it got better as the more DLC and updates happened, but Street Fighter is a big deal, believe it or not. And the fact that we're getting like a big step forward for the franchise is really exciting. And Tekken 8.
Let's go, Tekken 8, baby.
We'll probably also get more news tonight.
Yeah, true. We know that for sure. The Harada had this edited video of like Tekken 8 will be there. Save the date.
Tekken 8.
Yep.
It all rhymes. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I'm right there with you though with fighting games. I know me and Danny have talked about this before, but I need like more of a single player aspect to the fighting games for me to get really into it. That's why Mortal Kombat and the Injustice games have really done it for me, and other recent fighting games have not.
Yeah, NetherRealm's that bar. They just have upped the bar on what a fighting game can even be right now.
Because it's always just like, man, I'll buy one and then I'll play it for like 2-3 hours, and I'm just like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, you got to be committed to evolving your play and trying the characters, going online, fighting people, learning a character in depth. Like if you're not into that, you're not going to want to play that side of a fighting game. Like you're going to want
Yeah.
more story.
Yeah.
Yeah, going off what Tucker was saying, like especially like I'm more interested in this one, Street Fighter 6, because of the accessibility options they're gonna have. Because I cannot do a goddamn special move. Like it's so much easier with the NetherRealm games. You can hit back, left, A. You'll do the spear for Scorpion. In Street Fighter, you got to do a Z or a half corner circle. I can't do it. I cannot do it. You got to have the arcade joystick.
Yeah, you have
Can't
to
do
play
it. So yeah, so obviously they're addressing that issue. Be like, hey, this is for the new player. I haven't played it, so I don't know how it's set up. But if it's like, oh, back like for back A or something like that, then yeah, I'll be all up about some Street Fighter.
Cool. Sims, anything?
No. I mean, it looks cool. Like the aesthetic looks really cool. Like when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, fucking Street Fighter looks dope." Like Tekken looked dope. Like all this, like you said, like these fighting games look great. But like this, I'm only gonna, I'll probably play like 3 or 4 games or fighting game. So like, but like back in the day, like I don't know, like back in the day, Tekken 3, Tekken 2, like there was always a carrot at the end of the stick one day. Like you'd be a character, you play 12 fighters, 12 fights, you get a little story at the end. And then it'd be cool, but oh bloody hell, that's good. And then you do it again, and then there was an unlockable. You can unlock the wooden guy. You could unlock the panda. You could unlock I think was it Tekken 3 where there was like Tekken volleyball, and there was like Tekken this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? Do you remember like
Tekken volleyball?
Was it Tekken?
You're talking about Dead or Alive?
No.
Yeah,
It was
still
like
volleyball.
Yeah.
He's
I know what you're
right. There
talking
is a
about.
Tekken 3 Tekken Ball mode. Tekken Beach Ball.
yeah, you're like yeah, and then you could there was
I
like
forgot about
a brawler as well. Like you could play a brawler as well.
That's cool. Didn't know about any of that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, well, I remember. I mean, they used to do crazy stuff because even Mortal Kombat had that kart racer. Was it Armageddon that had like the cart thing?
But this
in
was
it, where
all
you
in
could,
like Tekken 3, like, and there was all these crazy characters that you could like the little dinosaur guy, like it was sick. Like I mean,
Yeah, he sucks. No one used that thing. He was
yeah,
too
no, but it was
overpowered, too
awesome to
short.
unlock, wasn't it? Like it was really cool to
Yeah.
unlock, like, and I just wish like I know it's not ever gonna get simpler because there's such an esports behind it, but. And then like going back to the I missed the Star Wars. The Star Wars day, like I agree with Roy. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, awful game. Like
Guys are
terrible game.
nuts.
Absolute trash. Like,
Connor,
garbage.
we're gonna do our own show. We're over here in this corner.
Yeah,
But like,
I can't take Sims takes anymore.
while we're here though, like let's have a little spicy game game award. Let's have one
more thing,
announcement
real
on what
quick,
we
real
have in.
quick.
Yeah, you go.
I got to give a shout out. They haven't announced her yet, but she was in the leak. Cammy is going to be Cammy's returning to Street Fighter. Shout out.
Congratulations, Cammy.
Congratulations, Cammy. Like
One of my favorites. She's one of my favorite characters.
one of Daniel's
Let's finish this
favorites.
news story before we get to whatever Sims wanted to do with his spicy take. Okay. Next game then was Diablo 4 with the date of June 5th via the Microsoft Store page. I like how all 3 of them fucked up here. Like Steam fucked up, PlayStation fucked up, and Microsoft fucked up.
Everybody just stubbing a toe. Like
People always digging in the back end. They can see the dates.
Yeah, too
Stop
much.
doing that.
But June 5th, Diablo 4. I know there's some rumors earlier this week of April, so I don't know what happened there. But
yeah, I think that was been a rumor. I think for a little bit now that it was going to be a little earlier in the year. Maybe there's going to be an April beta or something, or some sort of playable.
it seems
thing.
like people have played it. Like
I just saw
Gaming Media has
previews.
played it. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's previews.
Easy
It
Ally
looked like
just
they
did a
played a
preview.
lot of it too. So
I forget how much Brad at Easy Ally said, but he played a good chunk, and he said he played it from the start too. So, like the people are playing this game.
I'm really enjoying looking out Nick's window, watching him drive by these houses. Like trying to figure out, like, wow, it's nice scenery there.
Yeah, he's in North Carolina.
Well, it'll cut out in a minute. It's going to cut out in a minute.
A lot of woods. Wow. Diablo. I'm not the biggest fan of Diablo. I tried 3 for a little bit, didn't like it. Daniel, Diablo, how you feeling?
Yeah, I played some 3. It's not a series I have a lot of playtime in, but I'm definitely excited for this. It looks really cool, and I like like co-op game. So this is probably gonna be me and Sloan game to play. Like we're probably this is be our co-op game. We'll just sit there, we each pick a different class, and he'll probably just be some big dude with armor, and I'll be the dodgy person in the back, and that's how we usually play.
Almost like real life.
Yeah, almost like real life,
Almost like
exactly.
real life, yeah.
You think Stallone walks around in big armor?
Massive,
yeah, with an axe.
He goes to
Massive
work
axe on his back.
with a full gear, like
At Jersey
full
Mike's.
chain set
Yeah.
armor, like.
Spartan kicking
You want
customers.
olive oil on this sub? Just in fucking armor.
Yeah, I'm excited. It looks great. I love the visuals of this game, so it looks really good.
No, it does.
My
look
hope for this game
really
is that the Activision deal does go through by the time this game comes out. That way it's on Game Pass. That's
Agree.
the only way I will check it out. Tucker, you agree?
I do because I've never played one of these style of games. I've thought a little bit about maybe getting the Diablo 2 remake
Resurrection.
that came out. Yeah, Resurrection. Yeah, trying that. I believe I have access to 3 somehow. Or trying Minecraft Dungeons because I heard that game's pretty good. But I've never played one of these kind of games, and I'm not sure if it would really appeal to me. But I'm certainly willing to give them a shot. I mean, Diablo 2 especially is one of the classic games of all time. So I want to have some experience with it, before I kick it.
Did you play It Takes Two?
I did. I played like the first hour and a half of it, and then my friend refused to like come back. He was like, "Oh no, we'll do it in a day. We'll do it in a day. We'll do it in a day." And guess what? It's been a year. So
Wow.
Yeah.
sucks.
Takes
I think I would
one.
love that game.
Yeah, it's a great video game.
Oh, it
It's
was
great.
great.
There's a section in the game that
Really
plays
disappointing.
like Diablo. I thought,
Oh, cool.
man.
Was cool. Okay, cool. Last game then. And lastly, the Snitch is suggesting that Final Fantasy 16 will release on June 22nd, 2023, according to his weird ass cryptic tweets.
Yeah, he's. I don't
likes
like
to
the
do.
snitch because I
The
don't
Snitch,
like.
we've been
being
trying
so
to get the Snitch on the show for months now.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Messaged him back and forth. I want to set up like a muffle so he can like disguise his voice and like maybe he'll wear a mask.
But like anonymous. With
Yeah,
the guy masks. or whatever?
Oh, he could wear the V for Vendetta mask.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'm
I
so
think
into
this
that.
was a game that they also said in the summertime, right? If correct me if I'm wrong.
That was
Didn't
summer,
Square
yeah.
say summer?
They've said that multiple times, yeah. And it seems like we're getting a release date tonight. So by the time this podcast actually comes out, you will
I
already
think
know.
Yoshi P's supposed to be there, right? So I think
Yeah.
he's presenting something.
Yeah.
Sweet. So excited. That game looks incredible. So it's one of my most anticipated probably for next year.
Yeah, I know we were talking about it a bit in the Discord yesterday. I hope it's not June 22nd because that means June is just fucking packed.
Already.
But, yeah, but it's like, all right, whatever. I'll take it too. I mean, this would be my most excited one for that month, but nonetheless, give me July or August. That'd be great. Daniel,
Yes.
FS16. You're excited?
So excited.
Me too.
Probably my top 3 most anticipated for next year. I would assume.
Yeah, I'm
I'd probably
right
say
there with you.
Zelda, Starfield, Final Fantasy 16. That's probably
that
my
sounds about
top. In no particular order, but like that's probably my top 3. I would say, and like but this game just every time we see a new trailer, especially that last story trailer we talked about it a couple weeks ago. That trailer was incredible. What an amazing trailer! Like every time I see this game, it's just looks so good.
Tucker, you got a big history with Final Fantasy?
No, I don't. I've played about half of 7 and like 95% of 6. And I
7
love
remake or just 7 proper?
just 7.
Okay.
I played like an hour of 7 remake. I do want to get back to it. I think it's a game I would like, but I played Final Fantasy 6 and I loved that game. I really did love that game. And
play it.
watching the Final Fantasy 16 reveal trailer, I'm like, oh, getting the more action style combat of the more recent games, but the world building, more fantasy style of something like 6 that I loved so much. I am very excited for this game, and it'll be interesting for me to be in the zeitgeist of a Final Fantasy game for the first time. I mean, Final Fantasy, again, like Street Fighter, is one of the most important franchises of all time, and a new mainline Final Fantasy game hasn't happened since I started really caring about video games. And I didn't care about Final Fantasy 15 back then. Also, that was a
15.
game that was a little
I
bit
like
mixed.
15. I think 15 gets a little too much hate. I think there's some good there. There's a nugget of pretty
I'm
good.
sure there
Especially
is.
the story, I think, is pretty good there.
But I'm excited to see what it's ostensibly a modern Final Fantasy game with another almost decade of development time. in the oven. I am excited for this game. It's not like one of my top most anticipated games because I haven't played that many Final Fantasy games, but I'm always interested in big games like this.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think the combat looks excellent. I love how they're suggesting like Game of Thrones type politics going into
Yeah.
this. Like that sounds really cool to me. That sounds very fun. I love the different sceneries and cities they've been showing off in these trailers. Sims, where's your hype levels at with this game?
Yeah, it looks so pleasing to the eye. I don't know. It always happens to me with the Final Fantasy. I'm like, oh, it looks really good. I might really enjoy it, and like I don't. I know Final Fantasy VII being the example, but I think Final Fantasy's gameplay was different to 15's gameplay. And when I first started to really look at Final Fantasy, was like 13. Was like I think me and Natalie first got together. I was like, nah, this looks really good. I'm gonna play 13. And she was like, yeah, good for you, man. Like, you know, like you're a bit weird. Like I'm not sure about our future together. And then she ended up loving it, and I didn't. But 15, I tried 15. I think she finished 15. I couldn't get to grips with the gameplay. But then Final Fantasy 7, I was all in. Because it was like more free-flowing combat. Like, you know, there's there's new story mode that all the cool kids are putting in their games as well. So this one, hopefully, they'll have that same mode. It visually looks great. I can like just smash buttons up, get involved in the story, and hopefully, just like Game of Thrones, eat a child off a dragon. Like everyone just nods their head, like
Massive, massive spoilers.
What? Oh, Game of Thrones. No one's watching it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no one's watching that. I don't think Daniel's seen it yet.
No, he doesn't
Nick,
know what
I
I mean.
compared
That's
trophies
probably
with
a
you
spoiler.
last night.
It's not a
and
spoiler.
You did
Don't
not.
worry about it.
Okay.
Nick, I compared trophies with you last night, and you did not have FF7 Remake Platinum. Explain
yes, I do,
yourselves.
sir.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Maybe you didn't have the PS5 one then.
It's platinum, sir. It
What
didn't
was I
say
looking at
100% because I did. It
Nah,
didn't say
nah.
100% because
Maybe
I
that
didn't
was-
do the DLC.
Your trophy list
But
very
it's
impressive,
platinum.
though. I
Is
gotta
it?
say,
I thought they
Yeah,
were putting
yeah.
on PlayStation.
impressive. He added me yesterday.
Oh right, I
Yeah.
see how it is. You
That's
are the
fine.
favorite Nerdic guy. I see how it is.
Yeah, the intermission must have messed with the
That's
platinum.
what my daughter
Connor.
did
That's
about
probably
half
what
an
it
hour
is.
ago when she
'cause,
walked into the room.
They did it with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man DLC came, that's the only platinum I have, and it's just because I was just doing everything in the game,
Yeah,
and
that was my
it's
first
like-
one as well, actually.
it's the only one I have. I don't really care, but like they added more trophies or whatever, more achievements, and like it doesn't even look like I have it, but I still have it.
What did the letter
so
say?
it's really-
Yeah.
Nick.
Somebody's about to learn about sex education.
Oh,
Oh
dear.
no!
No, don't sign it.
No.
Don't let him have that.
Tucker's
old is she?
Tucker, plug your ears.
He? He's 11.
Hey, sorry. No,
Hey.
that's 11. Mine's 10, and she's like, she did the exact same thing when she like, so goes the camera on, and she was like, I was like, yeah, so just put it in there.
And they'll do it for the news. Sims, what was your spicy thing you wanted to talk about?
I just want to, what predictions we got? Like, what we saying? What's going on? Like, I want to talk about this
Predictions
actually.
first.
There's one thing, right? So obviously, I've kind of like, Twitter's hard to follow without Nibel. Okay, so I heard a lot of people talking about woke reviews, and I'm a woke reviewer and stuff like that. So I've just had a follow up. There's follow-ups come out of it. So the creative director of Days Gone,
Days
my
Gone.
favorite game,
Yeah.
my favorite game. He come out, he tweeted out, he's like,
Oh,
the
Jedi
reason-
Fallen
How
Order
much
is bad.
sarcasm is involved in this?
he goes 3 reasons, blah blah blah. He's like, tech issues, reviewers couldn't be bothered to actually play the game, ouch. And then 3, it had woke reviewers who couldn't handle gruff white biker looking at his date's ass or something. Stupid tweet, ridiculous. And then Ben Studios just put a statement out. We were
really?
aware of the 15 minutes ago. We were aware of
shit.
the comments made by our previous creative director on Days Gone regarding his personal views on the critical reception of our intellectual property. Ben Studios does not share his sentiment, nor does he reflect the reviews of our team. Our studio is immensely proud of the work we accomplished on Days Gone and are thankful to every developer who poured their heart and soul into it. We are especially thankful for Stephen Sims of the Sims Gaming Time / Nerdic Gods podcast for playing this game and say it's the best game of all time, and everyone is wrong. We are also incredibly humbled by the support of our Days Gone community and will continue to share your enthusiasm for the world and characters as we look towards the future. They definitely put the bit in about me, by the way.
Of course.
But
You're the
yeah,
number one fan.
It's people are stupid. People are stupid. There we go. But no,
Yeah, exactly.
pardon?
He's John Garvin being
John
stupid.
Garvin.
I think that yeah, it was not. That's not the way to put it. I mean, if your game didn't review well, I mean, you kind of have to take it on the chin and kind of just say, hey, maybe what could have, maybe what
It's
could
not
I
even
have
that it
done?
reviewed that badly. Isn't it at like a 77? Like, that's fine.
It was like in the
Relax.
70s.
Right,
I mean,
you're
I don't
fine.
know.
It does get some
they-
unnecessarily critique though. Like it was a good
Yeah, but that does not have to do with like the wokeness of whatever.
No,
he's
of
trying
course
to
not.
say.
I'm not even like. I mean,
What a weird
I
thing to
agree
say.
with him saying that people should have played the game because I feel like people didn't play the game because this game.
I think people did. The reviews I
plays-
saw.
It says it goes like PlayStation IP. We've got Days Gone, Last of Us, and God of War.
Crazy. Get out of
I
here.
just don't understand it. Like
Get out of here with that.
it took us guy.
You remember the line? You remember the line of his wife saying, "I want you to ride me like you ride your bike or whatever."
Yeah, well, people watch that
Tremendous
right
writing
without
scam.
context. Like there was no context in that part. They were getting married and they were like like in a biker gang. But if you
I
see
get
that,
it. I get it. It's a bad
No, you
line,
don't.
but it's funny.
she wants to ride him
Yeah.
Like his bike.
Like
I understand.
sex,
Yeah.
right? Like he rides his bike because he's in a biker gang.
Wow. Yeah, this really brings it to a new level. Thanks for the
So
context.
there you go.
What
No.
is sex?
Oh.
That's Nick's son because he's about to find out.
Mm.
How to find out. I need to go to that class with him, I guess.
Yeah, where's that called?
No, to be honest, like I'm quite happy they got rid of the heads of the studio. It just, Days Gone was fine, whatever. It's an okay game, but the problem is they took like 10 years to make that game in
Yeah.
between their last game, and then it came out and it was just whatever. It was a meh game, so that studio obviously needed to go in a different direction.
That's for sure, 100%. Like we might be even seeing that with Montreal, whatever WB Montreal.
The game made you drive halfway across the map and then talk to this gravestone that he thought his missus was. That's deep, man.
I swung in
I'm
Spider-Man
being serious as
and
well.
got an achievement for going to Uncle Ben's grave. That's way better.
Yeah, that
Took
was
5
deep.
minutes.
He was talking to
Took
her,
5
and that
minutes,
was
yeah.
that was
also
the mission
fun.
as well. That was
It
the
was
mission.
fun to swing.
Anyway, right.
Nick,
so
what are your
Game of-
thoughts on Days Gone?
Oh, go on.
Never played it.
Never played it.
Never
Okay,
fucking
good
You
on
don't
you.
need to.
Good job.
This guy's telling me that he's got the fucking Elden Ring Platinum and he hasn't got Days Gone Platinum. What is wrong
Yeah,
with you?
one's an amazing top tier video game, and the other one's meh.
Yeah, and the other one is fucking Elden Ring. Like-
Both Nick and Sim's platinum lists are just meaningless because they have those shitty 2-minute trophies.
Shut up. Shut up.
We only
Nick,
have
you
one.
have so many of them. Nick
Oh,
has
do
like
ya?
Nick has 100 he has 99 platinums, and like
I see.
90 of them are those shitty 1-minute platinums.
Shit, maybe about 20 of them. Maybe about 20 of them.
I saw those and like I was impressed. Then I got to those and I was just like, never mind, it's gone.
You shouldn't admit that.
Why? Why have you done this? You've brought shame on yourself, man.
How
On
could
you?
you have done this?
I'm getting those
Hey.
platinums. Don't worry, we're gonna get rid of them soon. You ain't
Right.
gotta worry about them cluttering
We
up the
are-
PlayStation Store no more.
T
Yes,
minus.
please.
We are exactly 4 hours from the podcast.
From the podcast.
From the game,
From the Game
not from the
Awards.
podcast. We're doing the podcast.
We are doing the podcast.
Say, damn.
What are we going? What do we want to see? Let's be crazy. What do we want? Tucker,
Hmm. Hmm.
What do you want? What do you want, son?
What do I want?
What do you want?
This is not the kind of announcement that would happen at the Game Awards, but yesterday there was some sort of announcement or like a trademark reveal from Bandai Namco saying that they're working on a We Love Katamari reroll. I love Katamari Damacy. I love We Love Katamari. I love Katamari Damacy reroll. And if they're bringing We Love Katamari to HD to modern systems, I'm gonna lose my shit. That's gonna be a gigantic pop for me. But that's probably not gonna be revealed for another 5 months or whatever. It'll show up maybe at a Nintendo Direct. That's where
That's
kind of
probably
Master Reroll
more
was
fitting.
the first time. But I think tonight I'm just excited to maybe have this one pan out for me in terms of the announcements that happen. Because what happens usually at the Game Awards is there's one or two that stick with me, but a large majority of the games I feel are things that sort of blend into the background and kind of feel like, yeah, we've seen this before, even if it is a new game. But that doesn't bother me. We were having a little bit of a conversation today about how about the Game Awards length and what they should be attuned to. Regardless, I'm happy to watch. I've never been disappointed with the Game Awards. Maybe it's long, maybe it's some stuff I don't really care about, but I get to have fun with my friends, and that's really all that matters. So as long as I get, let's say, 2 games that have like either major trailers and slash or revealed tonight, I'll be happy. That like ones that I'm really passionate about, then I'll be happy. Pretty low bar, Jeff. Clear it.
I mean, me and Jeff, we spoke on Twitter once. Now we're best friends. Like,
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
yeah, man. Yeah. I was having an argument with someone, and like, he was like, "Oh no, it doesn't matter." Nick, you need to sort your name out because I'm getting confused.
You just call him Nick. It's you. You're the only one confused.
Yeah, because I'm a fucking idiot. Have you met me? like
Yeah, I'll talk to you every week or all the time.
all the time. What do you want? What do you want, man?
Just in life.
What do you want, man?
Just in life. God
Another
damn.
kid.
So many games.
No, you don't want another kid. There's less
The
games.
hopeful one is always a Metal Gear Solid remake, but I don't see that happening. I always get that tossed around everywhere, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Also, another Bloodborne 2 or a remaster. Give me something, but it's not going to happen because I guarantee From Software is working on something else.
That would be something to get me excited tonight. If we saw
Mhm, it would.
Bloodborne, oh my god, I would lose my shit.
But I'm just looking at the PlayStation Store right now, and they got some demos up for the Game Awards. They got a Season, a Letter to the Future demo up right now.
Cool.
Bramble, the Mountain King, and You Suck at Parking.
Nice. Yeah, that season game looked pretty interesting. The like
You
ticket
just got a
picture
release
stuff.
date as well.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I think-
January 30.
31st, yeah.
Yeah, 31st.
Sweet.
Daniel, what do you want? What do you
Sure.
want in life?
Honestly, I just want to be happy, right? Isn't that what we all want?
Don't we all want that?
Don't worry, be happy.
Don't worry, be happy. Yeah, Bobby McFerrin. I would say I just want more awards. I know me and you said The Sims. I want more awards and more time for the developers to accept their awards. That's what I want for the show. I know that that's probably not the most exciting thing to hear, but that's I think what I would prefer. But I guess in terms of an announcement, I think this would be pretty likely. I think, but I think we'll get the last like big Hellblade trailer released at the Game Awards, and they'll have a release date, and it'll be next fall.
Available tonight.
Not available tonight, no. But it will be next fall. Probably somewhere between August and October is probably where that game's going to go.
Connor, what do you want in life?
Just so much money, power.
Big bag of weed.
I have that. We know what's the guy's name? Key and Peele guy. What's the Key's name? That
Keegan
guy.
Michael Key.
Keegan Michael Key. He's presenting an award tonight, I believe. I think I saw that somewhere. I want him to be like, and I have one more thing, and then it's Captain Toad too. That's what I want. Yeah,
Connor.
He's like, I have one more thing to show you.
That would be
Nintendo.
really
It's
interesting.
Yeah, that'd be great. And he's voicing Toad in the game as well.
Yeah,
because why not? That sounds very fun. Yeah, I would love that. I'd love to see something from the new Mass Effect. I doubt we'll get it, but I would take anything at this point for that. Yeah, I don't know. I think Xbox is gonna come in hot. I think we could see a Redfall date. I think that's probably the first one up. I think a lot of people are hoping for Starfield. We might get that too, but I think Redfall's first. So I think Xbox would be smart to just get that release date out there. Hellblade, I'm with Daniel. I think we'll see Hellblade again. I think we will. I think it'll end with a fall 2023 type of thing. Yeah, PlayStation might be there. Who knows what they'll announce? Kojima teasing stuff. We know Kojima more than likely going to be there with
Do you
something.
think we're getting
teasing
3
shit out.
games?
No,
No.
no chance in shit.
No,
doesn't
I
even
mean,
make
see,
sense.
in
this whole
shit.
I think this whole conversation about Kojima is very weird because he has only talked about one game that we know that he's working on, and that is it, and that's that Xbox game. Everything else has just been hearsay from Norman Reedus or people thinking that that
Yeah,
he's
but we've
making
seen
Death
that
Stranding
trailer,
2.
though, haven't we? We've seen that trailer. We've
Yes,
seen
and
that
that
video.
could be the game that he's working with Xbox,
No,
right?
because that
we
was
don't
just
know.
an announcement, wasn't it? Like that was literally just
Yeah,
an
but that could
announcement.
be the game though.
I mean,
Nah.
we all saw that Overdose gameplay.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
is it
it's like,
Overdose?
yeah, and it's like, okay, unless that was just like some fake thing we all seen, that's a real game. That's probably the Xbox game, and that's probably the one I'd assume would be announced. A lot of
That is
people
the weirdest.
assume Death Stranding
That is a
too, but
Kojima ass video that is circled. Like the guy's not wearing
Yeah.
a t-shirt. The woman is overacting in the corner.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah,
the reason I say no chance in shit for multiple
No
games is
chance.
I really think there's no reason to do that. I mean, Kojima announces one game tonight. That's the thing of the show. Everyone's
thing
gonna
of the show,
remember it. It's all he's gonna talk about. Everyone's gonna be talking about, and it's gonna be a huge deal. Why would you overshadow your other games like that? I mean, he can have another pop in a year, 16 months, 8 months. Who knows how long it is? But space him out and the company's all for the better for it. All the games are the better for it. So I wouldn't be disappointed if we got multiple Kojima projects announced tonight, but I think it'd be best if it was just the one, which I think
just
that
don't-
one is pretty reasonable to help.
I don't see how he could be making that many games too. Like, his
yeah,
teams are
that's
that
what I'm
big.
saying. I'd be a little worried if he did announce 3 games. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, what are you focusing on here? Because it's not that big of a studio.
Yeah, they can't be. It may be pre-production, almost done with one, pre-production and another maybe, but that's that's just pre-production.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'd like.
Somebody asked me.
Sims, what do you want to see?
I just want a good show. I want it to end on a high because I feel like the last couple has not ended on a high. Like I
Yeah.
don't want Michelle Rodriguez to say Tekken. I want that. All right.
God.
I want whoever wins game of the year to get a good 8 minutes. to
Just
talk.
more than 30 seconds. They got
Yeah,
Joseph
that
Ferris
was-
on there, and they're
maybe
like,
Josie Ferris
"Now
didn't have
get
much
out
to
of here."
say,
Joseph
but it
Ferris.
wasn't. Yeah, I want to hear that epic fucking orchestral game of the year noise. Like,
Oh,
man,
come
I
on.
can't wait, man.
This year's orchestra is gonna be off the chain
And
with
the
those Game of the
trailer
Year
though for
nominees.
the trailer for the show was really good. Like I had a big grin on my face. I was like, this is gonna be fucking
He
good.
cuts those himself too, which
So
makes it
good.
personal.
So good.
Super.
Honestly, I want to see Spider-Man. I just want to see a Spider-Man trailer. I really do. Like I'd be over the moon. Maybe a Starfield date. I don't know.
they've been really quiet for a long time now.
And
Yeah.
it's just gonna be nice to hear. I know we had a crowd last year, didn't we? But like, I like to hear the pop. Do you know what I mean? I want to hear the crowd go crazy over something that's, cool, man. Like, I also like to see. I tell you what, I do like to see. I like to see things that aren't for me, but I know for other people. Like, I love that. Like, and I'm like, I'll sit there, Natalie, like, what's this about? I don't care. But there's a lot of people out there that are losing their goddamn mind right now.
Duke Nukem Forever too.
Yeah, was that Dwarf Fortress that's just come out? Like, got given a 10 by IGN. Like, people are going mental over that game. Good for them, man. Like, it's not all about me, but it'd be about me if you gave me a Spider-Man because I'll be doing backflips. Me,
Not expecting like a Gear 6.
yeah, it'd be cool.
Ooh.
But I think that's like proper like early introduction. Like,
E3.
hey, has anybody seen Speaking of like obviously Gears of War, Unreal, has anybody seen Fortnite at the moment? Like Fortnite looks dope at the moment. It looks really nice. Like, 'cause you
Don't
see
say that word with Daniel around. Don't.
I
Watch
just
your
said I haven't
tongue.
yeah, he
seen
doesn't
it.
like Fortnite. He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it. No, but it does look really nice. Like it's like Unreal 5. It's in the Unreal 5 engine. It looks great. Like my kids just got back into it. And I just double checked. Whoa, that looks crazy. So yeah, man, good shit. Spider-Man, backflips, Starfield.
You want to do a backflip for us just to give us a little tease?
Yeah. One sec.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wow.
Oof.
Impressive.
That was impressive.
Blew my mind right there. Wow, that was great. That was great.
Can't believe
We'll
it.
now move on to what we've been playing. Who wants to start? Daniel?
I've never moved that camera ever.
Sure, I could start. What have I been playing? I'll just talk about Pentiment for a little bit. Playing some Pentiment. Gone back to it. That'd be the next game I really beat after we talk about the other game. It'd be the next game I beat before I get to Midnight Suns. Something really clicked just recently in the past day or so. Something just really clicked about just going around talking to the people about this mystery, which I think most people know. There's a murder. There's a murder in the town. So trying to be a detective and like going to talk to people and trying to piece things together is really interesting. And actually just learning about this town and all the characters. Some people might find it a little boring because it isn't so in your face. It is very history focused. There's a lot of dialogue and a lot of talking to people. But I'm really enjoying it. Has anybody else even?
It hasn't been clicking for you? Sorry, just curious.
Oh, just it being a little slow to reveal the mystery. I think it takes a little while to even get to the murder and the mystery. It has a pretty slow start. You kind of just start playing. There really isn't much of a
town and stuff a little bit.
Yeah. But has anybody else even attempted the game yet or tried it out?
No, it's definitely one I want to try. As I said, I've been disappointed with Xbox this year and the lack of first party games, but this is one of the most interesting things they've ever done. Is like greenlighting this to happen and supporting it and having it come out. So it's a game I'd love to try, but I went from Sonic to Somerville to it's a Pokemon to now to God of War. And there's been so much coming out that unfortunately Pentiment swept to the side for me. But early next year, I hope I get to dip my toes into it.
I think you'd really like it, Tucker.
Good.
If you give it a chance and just kind of, I think, get to that point when it becomes the mystery.
Sure.
I think that is really when it starts. Okay, this is really what the game is. It isn't just kind of you walking around living a life. There's more of a mystery there. But yeah, other than that, I've been playing the Callisto Protocol, which I know some other people here have been playing. I'm not sure how far you are, Connor.
I don't know, somewhere halfway ish.
About halfway.
If I had to guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have beaten the game a few days ago, and I know Nick is also playing, and he has beaten the game. I think did you say you platinumed already, or you are platinum?
Yeah, it's already been platinum.
Okay, already been not even a week. Love it so much.
I did that like the second day I got it. I was like, well, I'm done.
Nice. Well, I want to hear what you have to say about this game, Nick.
Mixed feelings.
Sure.
I think the only downside about this game is the combat. The combat for a survival horror game, I don't want to be in somebody's face doing melee attacks. And especially when the melee, like we said earlier, is focused on 1v1. When you got 5 other guys coming at you, it's kind of hard to bob and weave out of that situation. So it's like kind of hard how they can patch that in, but like, oh, we'll make it a little bit better or something. Like we'll have like a charge swing around. Like, no, I don't want that. But I mean, like visually, it's a beautiful looking game. It's probably the one game I really think is next gen.
It is. So it is visually so impressive. Really.
Yeah, crazy because this is an Unreal Engine 4 game, you know, and it's like, damn, what's shit gonna look like when we get to Unreal Engine 5, you know?
Right. Get rid of last gen, you know.
Yeah.
Audio was pretty good as well, especially if you like Connor over here with the Pulse 3D headset. If you got that on, you can actually hear goddamn monsters running through the vents or in the trees hiding or stuff like that. But story wise, kind of lackluster a little bit. I mean, I'm kind of want to see if they're going to make a sequel because you know reviews have been mixed on it.
Seems to be selling well.
I mean, it's selling well. I mean, because you like all you got to say, oh, it's made by the dude who made Dead Space. You know, like so and it plays a lot like Dead Space, but I mean, like most reviews is like, oh, this is an exact copy of Dead Space. It's not. It's just if you're a big fan of Dead Space, you're gonna enjoy it.
Sure.
Just
I like
just get ready for a big changing the difficulty near the end of the game because it gets rough.
It gets
'Cause
even
like,
harder.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
like, Connor, where'd you change the difficulty? Because I'm thinking you're at this platform. And you said no, it's over there where you're over there at the oxygen place. I'm like, he hasn't even got to that damn
I haven't
point.
even tasted it yet. Huh? Oh,
Yeah,
God.
there's definitely a point when it gets a little harder. I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine though. You're a gamer.
Pro gamer.
Yeah, the story I think is okay. Like I like some of the characters. I think the world building is more interesting, and that part of like the story, I like. I like kind of hearing about what's going on outside of Callisto because you're really not even there. You get to hear about other moons or other planets and stuff. Like the podcast we talked about the podcast that they did the audio the Helix station. They hint at like Earth is completely gone. Or just non-inhabitable at all. So that's why everyone is elsewhere trying to find places that they can live. And by the end of the game, I would like to see where they go. You know, would you say, Nick?
So yeah, they're gonna invent these things called planet crackers, and then they're gonna go to this place called Aegis 7, and they're gonna dig up this thing called the Marker, and then we're gonna have another sequel called Dead Space. Now, let me stop.
It's all connected.
Yeah, we gotta talk about this dodge mechanic because I think it is
Sure.
overall the worst part of the fucking game. I can't stand it. I see a lot of people comparing it to Fight Night, and I'm like a little bit like I see what you're saying, move with the stick left and right.
Or
But like
punch out.
I think they could have gone so much further with it feeling like Fight Night, if I'm being honest. Like imagine if you were like actually swinging with stuff. So like if you don't know, the dodge mechanic is just simply when an enemy swings at you, you swing to the you push the analog stick to the left, right? And then you dodge that one. And then you have to just push the analog stick to the other direction. So to the right for the next hit. And if you push it to the left again, you will get hit. But if you push it to the right, you're fine. And you kind of just have to go back and forth like that. And that's really it. And he doesn't even necessarily dodge in that direction. If you go to the left, sometimes he'll go to the right, you know, or he'll go to the left if you push to the right. And that just feels weird. It feels off. Yeah. And then it gets really complicated when you have multiple enemies coming at you at the same time. You have to sort of almost line up the enemies coming at you. So if there's like 4 enemies walking towards you, you kind of want to like line them up so you can take it one by one. But then that gets very annoying because you have enemies that spit like acid at you from further away, and there's no roll or like dash out of the way real quick. So you're just constantly getting hit with those unless you can like block by holding back. But sometimes that's a little wonky and doesn't even work, it feels like. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's just this dodge mechanic, while it is unique, and I appreciate it for that, I think it fucked up this game entirely.
Yeah, in the settings you can go and change how that works. You could have like an assist mode of helping the dodge, and that's what I did. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
So all I do is hold back. What'd you do? Did you do it too, Nick?
Yeah, I had to turn it on, man, because near that end game, man, I was like, no matter what I was doing, I was still getting hit. Like he'll still do the animation where he'll dodge and he'll still get hit, especially when you're going up against a boss where it's a pretty much one hit, you're dead. He would still do the dodge animation and still get hit and die. And I'm like, yo, there's got to be something better way to figure this out because this ain't it. I
didn't know about this. I'm totally
go into the settings.
Oh, okay, I had no idea about this. That sounds way better.
Yeah, go into the settings. You can change that.
But imagine if it was more like Fight Night and like I was like kind of swinging with stuff, you know, like an enemy hits at me, I can come back, then hit him with a melee like that, you know, hit him with a hook, then come in with a heavy hit and stuff like that. Like it could be so much more fun than what it is. And it ends up being boring when you have one enemy and then way too complicated when there's more than one enemy.
Yeah, it definitely like everything would have been resolved if you, I think number one, if Jacob felt not as heavy. I know that they want you to feel a little more grounded, but he feels a little too heavy. Number one, you know, make him a little less heavy. Number two, maybe put a 180 button so you could just flip, turn around, you could run. And then number three, maybe get some sort of at least a move, not necessarily a complete dodge because he's supposed to be a little heavier, a little grounded.
A roll or something, you know.
Well, that would have been too much. I'm thinking not Dark Souls, but just a move, just like have a move.
There needs to be a way to dodge those projectiles.
Yes, that's what I mean. Go ahead, Nick.
You're thinking of Resident Evil 3, the dodge system in that.
Exactly. That's what. Yes, more like you're just kind of shuffling out of the way. But I guess you do need something to avoid the projectiles. Maybe have to block. Just that's how you do it. Just block.
And it is fun at points. Like, I don't want to sound like too down on it, but like, you know, when you have full ammo and your telekinesis power is fully charged and stuff like that, it does get fun. You know, you dodge something, shoot one enemy, pick up another enemy, throw it into one of those weird grinder things that are just everywhere around this prison for some reason, because why not? You know, it is fun at points, but most of the time, because it's a survival horror game, you have so little ammo and so little of the telekinesis power that you run out so quickly, and then it just becomes a melee game of you dodging back and forth.
Yeah, what I did to oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Nick.
No, go ahead, Daniel.
What I did to alleviate that was basically I stuck with the riot gun in the grip, and then every now and then use the hand cannon piece. But it was the riot gun, that big shotgun. All I did was do that. I would grip people into the thing because your grip will recharge over time. So I would just grip as many people as I could into spike walls, so it's not wasting ammo, and then just shotgun everyone. And then all my money was just buying bullets for the riot gun. I was not upgrading as much as I probably should have because I was just bullets. As many slots as I can with the riot gun ammo. And that was kind of how I did it.
Yeah, I mean, for like the best way to approach this game in like encountering enemies in certain areas, it felt like Hotline Miami, where you understand the layout and enemies. Yeah, the first couple times you run through that area, you're gonna die, but in a survival horror game, that's not what I want to do. The whole point of the survival horror is to stay alive. I don't want to constantly keep dying until I figure it out. But eventually, when you figure out the layout, be like, oh, okay, I'll use my grip, throw that guy into the fan, then use my hand cannon or whatever on this guy to finish that area. That kind of takes the enjoyment out of it for me a little bit.
Yeah, what makes it worse is how bad the checkpoints are.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
The checkpoints are they're abysmal. They're just straight up. They are abysmal. Like they don't make any sense. Like
It's a bad check.
like they
point.
straight up just don't make sense. Like if they want me to, redo an encounter or whatever, okay, like that's cool. Like start me at the encounter again, not in the middle or whatever. But like there was one, it's particular this platform, there's no spoilers, but this platform you're talking about, Nick, there's just a big fight, right? But there is the 3D printer right in front of it. I go and I upgrade everything, buy all the bullets I want, $1,000 worth of bullets of riot gun. Then I go and do into this platform. Okay, I died. Okay, sure. They start me back before I even bought all the upgrades. Are you kidding me? You're not gonna like as soon as I leave the thing, that's when you save. You don't save like before I do that. What are you doing?
No, that's what happened to me. There was one point where I got a thing to build a new gun on the 3D printer, and then I got to this area. It was too hard. It killed me. So it starts me back before I even built the thing on the 3D printer. So I realized, okay, in this area, I need to get some health stuff, some more credits so I can get more ammo and stuff like that. So I do all that for about 20 minutes, right? Then I go back to the same area I was stuck on, die again, and it starts me before that 20 minutes, before I did all of that again. And I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me with these checkpoints.
Can you not just save?
No, it
doesn't work
if you
that
do
way.
save it, it will start you before that.
Yeah.
You can
think,
manually
like, yeah,
save
you could just
and
save it
start
right there.
from there.
Yeah, it's the game's clearly a bit broken. It needed more time.
I don't know if it's broken, but it definitely needed a little bit more
that
time.
system is, yeah. And I think they just needed to redo this whole dodge system, come up with a completely new thing.
Do you think
Nick?
it's just
It
got like
sounds-
an old school mentality?
Not really. There are some older things that I would say in terms of structure, but like, no, I wouldn't say so. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah.
You're gonna say something?
I mean, as far as the game being broken, if you're buying this game on a physical disc, what they shipped on the disc is completely broken. Because when I do this review, I'm gonna rip this to shreds because I had audio cutting out, text not showing up, text not even showing up for the when you pause the menu, it wasn't showing up for that. The
Wow.
automatic dodge thing they got doesn't even work. So I had to constantly actually do the dodges my full playthrough before I updated the game, of course. But then why don't you play with the game updated? I just wanted to see how it was off the disc. But I mean, there were so many bugs, and like I mentioned on the first day, it crashed so many times. It couldn't even handle running all that information at that one point in the very beginning with all the riots and stuff. But yeah, this game needed a little bit more time before coming out, and
I don't know if that was because Dead Space is coming out in January. They was like, oh, let's go ahead beat Dead Space out and put out Callisto.
What's unfortunate about that is like they've already lost. You know, it's like, oh, okay, Dead Space is gonna be the superior game probably, unless the remake's just like completely broken.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some previews recently. It doesn't seem like it.
No, it doesn't at all, and that's what I'm saying. It's just like I already know Dead Space is a better game. The 360 version is a better game, but it's just
We
like
know, yeah.
remake. It's just like you might as well not even play this if you're trying to decide between Callisto and Dead Space remake. Just go for Dead Space remake.
Is it that bad then? So we got 3. Are we just all just disappointed?
No, I like the game. I think it's a good game.
It's okay. If
Yeah,
you're gonna get frustrated, yeah, you're gonna get frustrated. But at the end of the day, it's an okay game. It's no need to rush out and buy this game right away. I wouldn't even be surprised in a couple months it'll be on Game Pass.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's a solid like 8 to 7 out of 7.5 to an 8 probably.
I like it enough that I want to beat it, right? But yeah, I don't know, man. The story is pretty lackluster as well thus far. Like, I don't need like a deep dive into like these characters' backgrounds. And
You get a lot more at the end.
Do you? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll get a lot more characters then. But you know, it's just like a survival story. They're just trying to break out of this prison. And I get it. You don't want to sit there and like have an emotional conversation when shit's going down and they want to get the fuck out of this prison. I get it. But yeah, I could use a bit more story-wise thus far. Another complaint too is like the audio logs. You pick those up and you have to actually sit there in the menu and listen to the audio logs. Like, come on, what year is it? Haven't we been through this a million times? Like, let me walk while listening to the audio logs. We all know this.
Yeah, I didn't listen to it because of that. I was
Yeah.
just, I'm not gonna say here. I'm gonna play.
You
the
do
games.
get some cool story bits out of that,
I'm
and
sure.
it's funny because like I had the story from that podcast was so much better than the story in this actual game, and it's kind of
I
crazy.
will say no. I'm not gonna spoil the game. I agree, even after beating the game, that I like that podcast so much.
Oh, they
That
should have
podcast was
adapted
awesome.
that to the game.
Yeah.
You know, like because I was listening to that and I was
Totally.
like, wow, you could have made a whole fucking game out of this.
Which is surprising because none of that's even mentioned within the game itself.
I don't even know what it has to do with the stuff going on in the game because they weren't on Callisto in that.
I could
that
tell
podcast.
you. Whether you get it in the podcast. So that scientist the I
He's
forget
the
his
one that
name.
made these zombie things or whatever.
He took one of the things from here, went to
but
that
he's
Helix
not-
The
station,
Helix station. Oh, okay, gotcha.
and was
he's
doing
not
stuff
in the
there.
game, though.
Yeah, he's not in the game, but like he basically wanted to find a cure, so he like was doing testing on Helix Station.
It's just crazy how that podcast did a better job of building out that world and giving me an actual story than the game actually ended up doing.
Yeah, sad.
Sims, what you doing over there?
Seems making sketchy phone calls.
You're
I had to
muted.
make a phone call. Sorry.
But
You
yeah, I'm
over
sure I'll
there
talk
doing a
about
Blair
Callisto
Witch
a bit
sitting in the
more
corner.
next week after I beat it. Looking forward to moving on to Final Fantasy after this. I want to get the Pentiments as well before the end of the
Yeah,
year.
Crisis Core. That's right.
Yeah,
Next
I've got-
is it Tuesday?
I'm actually really hyped for that. I don't know why.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
Sounds dope.
I've got the biggest backlog ever.
Ever.
It won't stop.
Good.
Next year's gonna be nuts.
I don't know. Like Pokemon's taking me a long time. World Cup's taking me a long time. Like, hard out here. Hard.
I'll just mention it real quick. I've also gotten pretty far in Pokemon. I think I have one more gym left and like 2 more of the Team Star things or whatever.
Nice.
And then
What's
one
your
more
team
of the, what's my team at? What do you mean?
Level
wise?
wise.
Like 50s.
Okay. I'd
something
say
like
if you
that.
get to like
You're on track.
mid to late 60s, you'll be fine for everything in the game.
For the
Like
elite.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I got my team fully built out now. Quite happy with it. Got to talk about the music in this game because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it slaps.
Oh, dude, when you all fucking turn into crystal form or whatever, then that one song comes
The
on. It's the
battles.
best.
Oh my god.
It's
That's
so
that's probably one of my favorite songs this year.
Definitely.
battle-
You're like, let's go.
And it's also a lot better than the one from Sword and Shield.
Yes,
they had
that
like
one
a-
was
like
okay
a
the
hype
first
I don't
track.
even remember that one.
It was like
Oh,
the
that
chanting.
was so cool.
Yeah, but it was like out of tune. Like they were like off key, and that really frustrated the fuck out of me.
It was cool for the first few times, but every time it was too much. It was too much.
I like it in the gym battles where there's like and it just it's on a loop. It's so cool. Like, so cool. Yeah, man.
Tucker Hazel, what have you been
Yeah.
playing? I know you mentioned God of
not
War. You're about an hour into that, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of God of War last night. I was planning on playing it today, but I'm on a podcast
Sorry.
instead. But yeah, I'll let it slide just this once. We'll see if I can finish that game before I leave and don't have access to a PlayStation
Take the PlayStation.
for the rest of the year, which would be really frustrating. So I don't know. But yeah, I was mostly just focusing on Pokemon for a while, and then I wanted to take a little bit of a break from games because I'd played so much games over the last month. But yeah, getting back into God of War, but not too much.
Cool, yeah. I loved God of War. It was up there with my game of the year. I'm not entirely sure if it's my favorite game this year yet, but yeah, had a really good time with that.
He's still Horizon Game of the Year.
Might be. I might just throw in a curveball and go neon white. You know what I mean?
Let's go.
You know what I mean?
Look how
I'm-
excited Daniel got there. Daniel
Let's
nearly left
go.
his chair. Like, Daniel,
Yeah. About
The
to,
game's
about to
coming out on
launch out of
PlayStation
it.
next week, and I fully plan on buying it again and then platinuming it.
That's
Wow,
what I'm talking
nice.
about.
That sounds like a great time. Yeah.
You naughty
I can't
man.
wait for our game of the year stuff. That's gonna be very fun.
Yeah.
Maybe we can try to get some other people in it too.
Definitely. Sims. What you been playing, bud?
I've been playing a little game called FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022.
Ooh.
I've been watching the football. We play Pokemon every night, but literally just in like 2-hour bursts, and I don't get nothing done. I'm just wandering, just having a great time, just chilling, like battling some frames, finding some Pokemon, finding what the Poppins got in store for me. And I know like
Good.
Tucker made a massive like you had a tweet about like people like commenting about how it's uninteresting to talk about, and you're completely right. And I had my
Yeah.
rant last week. I got quite angry like about it, like because it's a bit of a piss take, but like when it's all said and done, like the game's brilliant. Like it's everything
Yeah.
that we would like, anything that we want. Natalie, not like when Legends Arceus like came out, that's what we thought this would be. Like at first
Yeah,
glance, it was
right.
like, my partner bawled her eyes out, like she cried because it was like, this is it. This is all I've ever wanted. This is all we've ever envisioned as a child. You know, you have them conversations when like silver and gold and ruby and sapphire came out. You're like, imagine if these, like, you could see the Pokemon walking around, and like my girlfriend cried. Like she was like, this is it. This is all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
And I know I take the piss, and I know your list, your Pokemon like top list is like, it's backwards, but it makes sense for your age. It makes sense. Like it makes sense for your age of like, oh, these are better because this is when I was pretty much introduced, and these aren't as good because I have gone and looked at them, and I'm like, I don't see what the fuss was about. But
Yeah.
like as when I was a kid in the 90s, like my Pokemon game, like I wasn't obviously, I was a kid, I had a Game Boy, but I played Mario on it, and that was it. And then my friend Ryan Fenwick, he was like, "Oh, there's a Pokemon game." He gave me, lent me Red. He's like, "Here's Red to borrow," and I was like, I didn't even know what I was doing as a dumb kid. And I gave it him back like 2-3 days later. He's like, "How did you do that?" I was like, "What did I do? What did I do?" He's like, "Oh, you found HM Fly," and I was like, "No idea what you're on about." So anyway, I got Red, and I had a great time. But that was magical, and obviously I've grown up and like played real games. I played games in like real life. I lived across the road from a golf course, so we'd find the golf balls, and we'd be like, "Oh, I found a Pikachu," and then my friend would be like, "Oh, I found I don't know, a Psyduck or whatever." But you know what I mean? That's how much of influential like Pokemon for a person of my age and my partner's age, like Pokemon, like you can see, like, do you know what I mean? Like, we're grown ass people. These are not for my children. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when the Pokemon are walking around and like, and like are reacting to you, and you are catching them, and there isn't necessarily a different scene. You're in the environment, and you can see what was it the other day? I was watching Natalie play the game, and there was just like an awkward. What's that new Pokemon that are two red and yellow pepper?
Scovillain?
Yeah, that's just awkwardly in the background. And I was like, "Oh, you're having a double battle?" And then I had to double take. I was like, "Oh no, he's just awkwardly sat there." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's amazing." Like it's just so cool, man. I am taking my time with it. I'm like 4 or 5 badges in. I'm trying to find the right team, or I'm just trying to experiment. So I've got like 2 sets of level. I've got 2 sets of 6 Pokemon teams, all at like level 40, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to choose. Like, do I want to have? Do I want to have? Who have I got my team right now? I've got that new Chadet Pokemon that you evolved with the armor.
Yeah, check it.
And then I've got the new Primate evolution, and then I've got the 3 starter Pokemon, and I've got that new bug type Pokemon that's really cool. That's like you get quite early on, you evolve quite early on in the game. Like, yeah, and I'm in like a pickle of like I don't know who to have because they're all awesome looking, dope ass Pokemon.
Oh, they made it easy with the box. You can switch out pretty quick.
Yeah, no, right. I'll be back in a minute because my brother's rang about 9 times. But also USA, you suck. See in a bit.
Didn't we tie them?
Harsh.
No. Like, listen.
We suck so bad, but we're tied.
Yeah, but are you still in the tournament? Are you still in
Well,
the tournament?
technically, yeah. I mean, technically,
still-
didn't we historically beat you 2 to 2?
Here's
Was
the
it
thing
2 to
about
0?
soccer is like, imagine if America
ago.
put athletes forward to actually participate in this World Cup. We just
Hey,
win
Connor.
every year, and then every other country would get bored of soccer.
Yeah. Hey, Connor, aren't we one of the best in the women's soccer for the
Are
world?
we? Oh.
I'm pretty sure we are.
Didn't we
Sim's
just
gonna
win?
be
Didn't we just win the Euro? We just won the.
I'm pretty sure
Euro.
US is better in women's.
I think nowadays, England football team, the English women football team is much better than the USA.
We'll see.
Worst sport out there, anyways. Who cares?
No, it's not. You're stupid. Are you watching the game on Saturday? Are you watching England versus France? Or...
No one gives a fuck, man.
Soccer? Have you had a soccer?
No, I don't care. Don't give a shit.
Who does
How do
not
you
care
give
about
a
sports?
shit? You like NFL at all? No.
No fucking.
Oh,
No
fair
fucking.
enough.
He's not a sports boy.
My brother rings me 9 times, and I ring him back, and he doesn't answer. I'm like, what's that about?
Shout out
Is
to brother
he
Colin.
dead? Is he dead now? Is he rang me as he was dying? Is he dead now?
I would hope not. That'd be drastic. Daniel, do
Live
we want to play a
reactions.
game, or are we running too long here?
Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Okay.
We can play a game.
You guys down to play a game? Nick, Tucker?
Guess
I got
so.
a couple
Yeah.
more minutes.
Okay, cool. Daniel, what are we playing?
We're gonna play 20 questions. We haven't played 20 questions in a while. We haven't had a full group in a while, so
many
now we
people
got a big group here. What's up?
So many people here. You're fucked.
I know. Good luck.
Are
Good
we-
luck. I had a different game, and then when I knew Tucker, and then now Nick, I was like, all right, I got to pick a slightly more difficult game. Not too difficult, but I can get more obscure if we need to. But I'm not going to. I have.
Questions every year.
What's up?
So I was trying to tell Connor, don't burn questions asking what year this game came out.
The year is
All the time, dude. It's not as necessary.
It
as you
is
think.
so important.
It's
The
not.
year
It's
is
not.
so
It's not.
important.
There are other ways to do it.
No,
I have the game whenever you guys are ready.
did this game come out? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do
Do
it.
it.
Let's let Nick. He can start it
Let
off.
Nick
Yeah.
He doesn't
Go
like
on,
the
Nick.
year.
Go on. You're so fucking big bollocks over there. Your PlayStation hat and your shit trophies.
Don't worry about my shit.
Yours, Sims.
Sorry, man. that 0-0 draw is still raw, man. I don't understand.
Damn, trying to think of a good question. Is this on current consoles?
Yes.
Really, that one. Yeah.
That's
we could
pretty
know
good,
what year it is by now. Did he say yes?
Yeah.
Now, being current consoles, I'm talking like PlayStation 5 and Xbox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he gets that. My question is, there's a lot of older games that are available on these consoles, so that doesn't necessarily.
answering the question.
I know. I believe you're telling the truth, but like, Super Mario Brothers is available on current gen consoles because you can play that on the Switch. So
you
like,
6.
I don't know. I just don't. I can't tell if he's.
Am I being smug? Is that what you're trying to say?
I might be being smug,
Daniel
but I
doesn't.
respect that. I respect that.
Thank you.
Is this game a console exclusive?
No.
Okay. Well, that knocks out a lot of big games.
Does. This game originally released before the year 2010.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not a current gen
Oh,
game.
it's interesting.
So what? Hold on. What we got? What questions we got?
Came out before
Literally asked
2010.
3
It's
questions.
not a console exclusive, and it's on current gen consoles. Did this game come out before the year 2000?
No.
Okay, great. Got 10-year gap there.
Okay. So I'm feeling like there's a lot of series that started around
I
then
need
that
to
have
go to
been
the
brought
boys'
to
room.
current gen consoles. Things like the Resident Evil games, like Resident Evil 4 is available on current gen consoles.
Right. Your Far
Um,
Cry's, your Assassin's Creeds.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Is this a first-person game?
No.
Okay.
not a first person game.
Not a first-person game.
Is this a shooter game of some kind?
A shooter game? No. Not
No.
a shooter.
Okay. I can't even remember. I mean, I've played this with you guys a few times, but I can't even remember what kind of questions we would ask.
Anything really. It gets more
Anything.
this as it goes.
What you figure out what the game's about?
Yeah.
Developers, anything.
Are you solving puzzles in this game? Puzzles? Doing
There's some puzzles.
stuff? There's some puzzles? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is this game
you got?
part of a major franchise?
No.
No. Okay.
Good question.
That also knocks out a bunch of big stuff.
That's a good question.
Does.
But that also makes it harder because that means this game is more obscure. Presumably.
I was gonna ask if it's critically acclaimed, but I'm assuming it is if it came out around that time and it's still on current gen consoles.
Yeah.
Which means they would have had to port it over at some point.
You can ask. I mean, like, I'll just reiterate what Tucker said. There's a lot of games that are playable on current consoles.
There's
Yeah.
a lot.
What kind of genre questions could be asked? Because that would certainly help narrow it down.
Is this game an RPG?
I would say no. No, not in like the
there's
traditional like
elements
RPG sense. There might be elements, but I would not say it's like a traditional
Fucking
RPG.
everything has RPG elements.
Yeah. It's not like from what you're saying, is it an RPG? It's not like that, no.
Is it an open world?
It's open-ish. I would not classify it as like a Skyrim. It's not a Skyrim. It's
It's
open-ish.
not part of a major franchise. That's what's throwing me off.
It's
here.
10. It's 10 already.
Christ.
Are there more than 3 games in this series?
No.
Between 2000 and 2010.
Yes.
And it's on current gen.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard everything that we've been asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had his headphones in.
Okay. Just checking.
It's you just said that every game's got RPG elements. And I said that as well. I was like, every
In your
game-
kitchen.
Wonder if Nick has a tattoo of this game.
That could be a
You
question
just
I could
wanna
ask
see my
him.
lady tattoo.
He does. He wants to see it every time he sees
Like
you.
a picture of Tetris on his arse.
That's badass.
Because it's not we know it's not a first person game. It's not an
Not first person.
RPG.
Not a
You
shooter.
said what? Shooter? Yeah, not a shooter.
There's puzzle elements.
Puzzle elements.
Sure.
I'm gonna
Not
start
shocking.
asking you your questions, guys.
I mean, you ask whatever question you want at the end of the day. I mean, I think that's a boring
All right.
question to ask, but you ask whatever you want.
I'm not here to entertain. I'm here to win. Did this game come out after the year 2005?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now we got a
Okay.
time gap.
Yeah.
Did you have something, Tucker?
No, I
Okay.
definitely do not know.
Okay.
So on current gen
'Cause
consoles,
It's playable on current gen consoles, yes.
it's playable.
2005 to
most of the multi-platform stuff from that time period that's still like relevant today is shooter adjacent in some way.
Yeah.
So like that's what's really throwing me off.
Unless it's Nintendo, but it's not exclusive.
No.
We asked developer
yeah, so
questions.
no,
Publisher
we
question.
have not asked any developer questions. No.
Is it published by EA?
No.
Fuck this game.
Damn it.
Don't do that because we'll waste fucking 8
Yeah,
questions.
yeah. I mean, it could help.
Is
You
You
this
got
game?
4 minds here.
Oh.
Go on.
Is this an indie game?
No.
Damn it.
That would have helped a lot because that's my indie.
Yeah, because that's the thing is from this
Xbox
era in
Live
terms of
Arcade.
multi-platform games is like you're either a big multi-platform shooter of some kind, like a mature game, or it's an indie. Because those are most of those are all still available on modern platforms.
It's also very curious that this game's on current gen, but the series didn't continue.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So it's a one and done classic.
Oh,
Well,
sure, yeah.
We know there's not.
You don't know any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked if it was part of a major franchise because I was trying to eliminate your Call of Duties and your Resident Evils and stuff like that. And also it's not a shooter. But is this game part of a franchise at all, or is it just one game?
You want to ask that question? He asked if it was at least 3 games.
Yeah, and there's not 3 games.
Christ. Okay, so there could be
Yeah,
like
I can answer that question if you want. but-
Ugh.
No, don't answer that question.
Ooh. Oh, it's not first person though. Fuck. Where is it?
Did this game?
You have one, Nick?
I kind of want to say it, but I don't want to burn it for that.
Just
Well,
burn
okay,
it.
well,
It's like,
you
what do
can
you think?
say it to us without.
50.
Yeah. Say
Well,
it's
we
you
can
you
discuss
can-
it. He's not here
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
No, yeah, he can't hear you. Don't worry.
I don't know, man. I don't want to burn that question
No,
for
because
that.
you're not going to
It's
burn it.
like,
You're not
Gamer-
asking him directly.
Yeah,
Mm.
doesn't count.
We can talk about it. I could say to
Yeah,
you,
well,
oh,
you could tell them your question.
I can
if
sit
you
here and go, oh, I think it might be
But
Portal
what you
2.
think about is you play as an animal in this game.
Oh.
Are you asking a question?
What specific game are you thinking of? A game where you play
What
as
are
an
you
animal?
thinking of the game? What game are you thinking?
I wanted to say Okami.
That you're right. That is still available on current gen consoles. It
That come out. What year?
does have a sequel.
Yeah, that's my only issue. I was like, it did have that one, like, I think was it on
Okami did.
DS?
Yeah, on DS.
Yeah.
But that's still not. That's less than 3, obviously.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good pull.
What year was that though?
Who developed it?
2005.
Who published this game?
2006.
It's a Namco game, I believe.
Oh, I
Or
think
Capcom.
ask
Sorry.
the animal question because I think that's a good question.
Do you play as an animal in this game?
Yes.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Ooh.
Definitely Croc.
Could be a
Isn't it?
Sonic game. Could be a Sonic game.
Oh, could be.
oh no, 'cause that's a franchise.
You asked
Because
if it's part of a-
that era of Sonic games are still
you asked if it
technically
was a part
available.
of a popular franchise.
Oh, you're right. That's definitely not fucking Sonic. God.
Yeah,
There's
hold
definitely
on,
more
hold
than
on.
3 Sonic games.
Sonic's not popular.
Is it? Should we ask about the developer? Should we ask about Namco? Should we say, oh, is it Namco?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We could ask how many questions we got.
You got 5 more questions,
Left.
and then a guess.
Okay. I mean, do I want to burn one for the developer
Yeah,
for
do it.
Okami?
Let's see what
Yeah.
happens.
It's not. But I was wrong. It's Capcom.
Yeah.
Capcom developed
Developed
Okami.
by Capcom.
Are you asking the question?
I don't know if I trust this guy that hasn't watched Pimp My Ride.
But he's played Okami.
I have not played Okami, but I know about.
But have you played? Have you played Pimp My Ride? Because that was a game.
I played Pit My Ride.
That
no.
was a game. Are you
Alright,
asking a developer question?
Yeah, he is.
It is made by Capcom.
I mean, it's got to be Okami. Well, what else?
How
Great
niche
point.
can we get with these questions?
An animal. You could ask if he played as a wolf.
Yeah, do that.
Do you play as a wolf, Daniel?
You play as like a god or whatever.
Oh,
right?
here he fucking goes.
Oh, because Amaterasu's. Okay, yeah. Nick, do you want to take the honors on this one? I think you fucking nailed it.
Yeah, I think I killed Nick.
Is it
There you go.
Okami?
It is Okami.
Hey,
It
check
was-
that out!
it was-
Congratulations!
Congratulations.
Developed by technically Clover, which is a Clover studio who is a Capcom owned, published by Capcom, Kamiya from famous of he did Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Platinum. He's famous for Platinum. He directed this game. It was released April 2006, April 20th, 2006, for PS2, Wii, and had an HD, kind of playable everywhere. Okami,
Not a shooter.
Great job.
not a shooter.
Not part of a major franchise. That we got it, but damn, that was a good one. That was a good
Hold
one.
on.
Thank
There's
you.
no we in Nick, okay?
Nick pulled it out. Nick pulled it out. Good job.
Great point. It's a great point.
Congratulations, boys. What a great show. I've had a right good time here.
Me too. I want to thank everyone so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe to us over at youtube.com/nerdicgods. You can also find us on all audio platforms. Tucker, let's pimp you out first. You're over at Backlog Banter, the YouTube channel. What you got going on over there lately?
Unfortunately, not much during this holiday season. Half our team is out of town, and that means we can't do jack shit. Reviewing Avatar next week. We've got an hour and a half long video about why games should cost $70 coming out soon.
Ooh,
look
So
forward to that one.
there's some stuff, but not as much as we usually have. So
Can't you record a load of stuff tomorrow and then just pimp it out?
because Abram is actually currently on a plane to the UK. So
Why is he coming over here for? What a stupid bastard.
well, I don't know if I'm allowed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but he works for Lost and Cult, so he's going over there to work with them for a couple weeks.
Who's he going to? Who does he work for?
Lost and
Lost
Cult,
and Cult.
the publishers of the Lock On books, video game book.
Why is he coming over
publication.
here for? It's stupid. I'm very
There's fucking
cold.
Everyone there. Hey, it's also cold in Massachusetts where he's
What
from.
part of England is he going to?
I don't fucking know. Go ask him. I
Is
don't
he in the
care.
chat? He's in our chat, isn't he?
No, he's on the fucking plane.
No, I know, but he's in
Or
the
he will be.
Discord, isn't he?
He doesn't
Oh,
use
man.
your Discord.
Yeah, but I
Sorry,
can
but it's
tag
true.
him. I can tag him. He'll see it then, won't he?
Great point. Great point. Yeah.
I'm gonna
He
tag
doesn't
him. I'm gonna meet Abram, man. Buzzing.
Hey, I mean, it's certainly possible. He'll be there for, 10,
Oh.
11 days.
We can take
yeah,
pictures.
England's a
and
small place. You just probably bump
everything.
into
Yeah,
him
man.
on the
I could
street.
throw a stone at him.
And,
But yeah,
and
please
everyone's
remember-
doing that in the UK. They're all throwing stones.
All throwing
constantly.
stones. All throwing stones. Throwing stones. Sorry. Anyway, pimp him out. Sorry, my bad.
Sure. Go check out Tucker over at Backlog Banter, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Search that, find him there. Nick, over at Just for Fun Reviews. What you got going on lately over there? I know we just did a God of War spoiler cast that me and Daniel were on with you. Anything else you cooking up?
Oh, right at this moment, my friend seems a little interested in finally going back to doing reviews for TV show again. So we might do The Last of Us starting next year.
Ooh,
So
I think we
we'll
should
see how
do
that
that.
goes.
I do
You guys
think we
gonna do
should that.
weekly, or are you gonna just wait for the whole thing to wrap up?
I think we're going to do weekly. We had so many opportunities to do like She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and like all those Marvel shows, but we were like, I don't feel like talking about it. It's just, and that's how it's been. Phase 4 to me has been meh. So I'd rather do it weekly so we can keep up with it every day and all that.
All right, cool, awesome. If you want some guests, I'm down.
Yeah, I want to talk Last of Us.
Come on, Tucker. Come on, just for fun.
Sure. Yeah, totally up for that.
Cool, and that's over at Just for Fun Reviews again. That's 4 with the number 4. Go check them out. Check out Backlog Banter as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.